Welcome to another round of Spudventures. This week we are once again in our D&D campaign of amnesiac adventuring the Forgotten Ones. So take it away, GreatDinn.
Hey, hi, hello, everybody. Welcome back. It has been a little while, but we are back and raring to go. This is a 5e campaign. Dungeon of the Mad Mage is the module, but there is a bit of a twist. Joining us as always, we have AvisEcho as Yuliy.
Hello.
We have Azure Mountain as Lander Brightwood. Oh, Azure Mountain's mouse died and he cannot unmute.
Weak.
We'll continue on for a little bit while that gets recovered. We have Digo playing Victor.
Hello.
We have Newbiespud playing Usk of House Castellanter.
Hello there.
And we have Space Jawa playing Jhank.
Insert gratuitous French here.
It is gratuitous and
I'm back.
Arguably French. Welcome back, Azure. So when we last left our heroes? Question mark? It's becoming a little more concerned.
Protagonists.
Protagonist is the much better word here, I think.
Focus characters.
Yes. When we last left them off, they had managed to find the Stone of Galore in a hidden safe in Victor's room, and they learned a lot of different information all at once in a span of a very short period of time. From the stone, they learned a little bit of information about their former adventuring companion Hollyhock, who did not respawn with them. They learned a bit about the dragons that they had completed that they had gained from the dragon heist, which had been split up into 5 different personal hordes and became the result, and turned into a reason to backstab.
Mm-hmm.
At least from the notes that were written down. And they learned the sort of ins and outs of the Stone of Galore. Following that, Jhank entered the fray and informed them that he had had prophetic visions about the end of the world via illithids, and that he was the, quote, second most important person in the world, just beneath his captain, because as it turns out, Jhank also used to work on a ship. And along with that, he gave some more information about Skullport, namely that he and several others owe a debt to the fighting pit known as the Bat's Roost. That there is a shop called the Sargoth's Bounty, which potentially has clues from their past, because the shop does nothing but trawl up the river Sargoth, which runs through the Undermountain. And the other shop he visited was the Nightshade's Caress, which was a poison/potion shop. And Jhank apparently purchased a lot of poison there the last time he visited.
I'm not sure we got around to those last couple of points. We kind of got fixated on the second most important person in the world thing.
That was actually the last bit he talked about.
Yeah, there was mention of the poison store.
I might have just blanked it out because I was still so flabbergasted.
We did focus on that.
It was pretty flabbergasting when I finally watched through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
To be fair, he talked about all that before the second most important person line, and that is an understandable point of your brain to go, hold on.
Yeah.
It's of course what you end on, because it's clearly the most important part, even though it's questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I got bits of the information in my notes.
It was definitely mentioned, even if it was overshadowed by
a lot of things.
A lot of things.
Potion store, Nightshade's Caress. Mr. Repo Man got a poison.
Yep.
That's all I have on that.
Does he work?
I should be taking notes.
It would probably help. And finally, Yuliy, after waking up with a massive hangover, informed you all of, one, I don't think we were good people, which I think you all had a fairly... Oh, sorry, I did miss one more thing you found of Jhank's. When you explored his room, you discovered that he had a smaller statue sort of hidden away amongst his little collectibles that had a symbol of Lolth on it. And given his propensity for dragging monsters into his room and killing them, and skinning them and using all of their parts to make various tools and food, it seems possible that if Jhank did worship Lolth at any point, that he used this room to sacrifice people. So that was cool. Yuliy.
Yes. Cool, air quotes.
I'm just realizing how much information I'm going to have to like summarize in this
last session was a lot, actually.
There was a lot.
It was a lot. And we're
Haven't
just
done-
adding to it.
So
Because
Yeah.
we get to talk about me.
Yep. Yuliy, we might redo yours a little bit, Yuliy, since the last one was kind of cut off a little bit.
Mhm.
But I did realize there's two other things we need to say. I need to say real fast. One, Usk realized that his notes can be read in multiple different ways using a variety of ciphers.
Which must have taken a hell of a lot of time.
yep.
To be fair, when you have the backing of the Castle Lanters and, the help of some of the, let's say, most expensive minds in Waterdeep, it's fairly easy to come up with some neat ciphers.
What's
Fair
your
enough.
intelligence score again?
It's average.
You don't have to. I know this sounds weird. You don't have to be intelligent to crack a code.
You don't have to be a brain genius.
I was gonna give a compliment on his intelligence for doing all that because I know I can't.
And finally, the other bit of information we got before y'all entered Yuliy's was you entered Hollyhock's room and found out that she had used basically the entire room as a training area because it was all scarred to bits by weaponry. And you found a fragment of a soul-stealing sword in one of the walls.
Hooray.
Hooray indeed. So, Abbas, would you like me to say the information that you sort of passed off, or would you like to just redo that?
No, you're good.
So what
I
Yuliy
would probably miss something.
So what Yuliy informed you of last time was that one, y'all weren't good people, and two, that you might not have been a group in your past lives, at least not as thoroughly.
We are now.
Yeah. And finally, during a previous life, Yuliy made a deal with Xanathar to give up the dragon's horde, the 500,000 dragons, mostly out of spite for Usk.
Right, I remember that.
Good times.
So, and yes, in another stream, I did in fact reveal that Usk is in fact Cloud in a bugbear suit. But
Cloud Strife, yeah.
But that might not be canon yet. Things can change.
It's still funny to think about, though.
It really is. Anyways, with all of that information, what would you like to do?
I'd like to call a quick team meeting.
I'd like a stiff drink. Anybody else want a stiff drink?
Yeah.
I am not normally much of a drinker, but that does sound like a good idea under the circumstances.
Never too late to start.
Then we all got drunk. End session.
And
As long as you leave something in the bottom of the bottle, you can take something off the shelf. But don't drink.
No, I don't.
I'll just
wanna
have
do-
some water.
Wait, so are we actually getting permission from Yuliy to raid her liquor stash?
Provided you don't drink the last of it, yes.
The last of any bottle.
Yes.
Yes, the bottle has to still have
Something in it.
something in it.
Okay, I'll grab a random bottle and take a serving.
The way that was worded, I'm sure it's just meant to be that so that she can have some of the stuff left over, but it sounds like It sounds like it's implying that those are magic bottles that refill if there's anything left in them.
Oh no, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish, she wishes. No.
You pull I just rolled a random number to see like what you pull from the shelf, Victor.
Mhm.
And you pull it's a bottle of elderberry wine known as the stag's prongs.
Sure.
Do any of the bottles look like they're particularly potent?
The one I'm holding.
The
Can't have
110 proof, yeah.
Do any of the bottles on the shelves look like they're particularly potent?
You have the distinct feeling that all of them are particularly potent in
Yeah,
their
this
own
is.
way.
I'm definitely gonna not take more than like half a shot of anything Yuliy drinks, because you are definitely gonna be a harder drinker than I am.
Mm.
Let me just make sure I have all of my Yuliy's drinks notes open.
Oh my gosh, I have notes.
I assume we all have notes.
Mm-hmm.
No, just based on the drinks.
Yep.
Sir, I demand this list when we eventually finish.
Of course.
Okay, so what would
God.
I roll to determine which of these drinks in particularly looks on the shelf?
They
looks
don't. None of them
particularly
stand out. They're all strong.
None of them stand out.
That's the answer.
He's just gonna roll and give you something. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You pull out a perfectly it's a bottle of a perfectly clear looking liquid. You cannot read the writing on it because it is not in one of the languages you speak.
Okay. Jhank is going to
I'm sorry, just imagining a liquor label with like abyssal script.
It's not. If it was abyssal, he might actually be able to read it.
Can I read it?
No, you can't.
Good.
Because it is.
That makes this fun.
I'm trying to double check the languages here.
Okay.
Quite the collection down here.
Yeah.
I should be embarrassed, but I'm not.
don't be.
I'm not.
The script looks dwarvish, but it is very much not dwarvish.
Okay, so Jhank is going to take the opportunity to lie to himself by, because it's clear, pretend it's water, so he's not actually doing anything bad right now.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing bad with drinking, just in any way.
I mean, he's not falling into alcohol as a response to all this crazy news.
That's my job.
Just give me a moment. Just gonna do something real fast.
So he's in denial.
And drinking Everclear.
But we're not in Egypt.
It's not so
as
much,
far as you know.
It's not so much denial as, I mean, I'm sure there's another word for it.
Yeah, denial.
Denial.
How much do you drink, Jhank?
Oh no. Oh no.
Did you just say enough?
No, he's going to take a taste of it first.
Okay.
So his lizard tongue goes into the bottle and takes a bit out.
Gross.
No, like he's going to like put the bottle up to his lips and do a kind of a quick drink before bringing it away.
That sip is enough to get you immediately tipsy.
I love this.
And now Yuliy is the legendary drinker.
It does taste.
You mean I wasn't already?
Here's the thing, Jhank. It tastes exactly like water. You do not taste any alcohol in it at all. It just immediately makes you tipsy, though.
Wow.
Well, this is an unexpected turn of development.
All right. Does anyone else want to go for a bottle of something?
While everybody's, drinking, before anyone gets so overboard that they're not going to remember this, I just kind of want to
Don't worry about that. I got you.
just gonna wrap my knuckles against the door frame and say, hey. A while back I said that I wanted our goal to be to build up strength and get artifacts and, get to the bottom of the Undermountain once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
I have just now changed my mind. I think our highest priority, whether we get down to the bottom of the Undermountain or not on this life, we need to untangle all the crap that our past selves did, so that even if we die again, we don't have to figure all this out all over again.
Jhank is going to take a look at
Right.
Usk for a moment. Then he's going to take another swig of the alcohol.
Don't finish the bottle.
Can I, swipe it out of his hands? Can I
You
roll
might
dex?
really want to.
Actually, I'm going to take some and pour some into a little vial and keep that for later.
I'm going to go ahead and
Then I'll give it to us.
Liquor.
I guess roll sleight of hand.
yeah, sleight of hand is going to be what it is.
Usk, roll dex -2.
Dex
I think he's
-2 for
fine.
To try and avoid it.
Oh, you're
Oh, you
talking
mean Jhank.
Jhank.
Sorry, I meant Jhank. Did I say Usk? I
I
apologize.
think you did.
Jhank, roll dex -2. Sorry, there's so many names with hard K's in them. Yeah, Usk, you get it, which is good because I rolled your Constitution save, Jhank, and you would have been on your ass.
Enough of that.
Dude, today I have the sneaky suspicion that Darwin was onto something. Thank you, Digo.
Victor scribbling something in his book there.
Yeah. Dear diary,
You know
today.
what?
Jhank, it's clear he's not actually going to accomplish anything, but he's going to, loosely reach out and try and grab for the bottle.
What are you, 12?
Just mage hand it to the ceiling.
Hey, be
Play
careful
keep
with
away.
that.
I'm not trying to do anything fancy with it, but if I
Eh.
have to play keep away, then sure.
Well,
If it breaks and everything's on the floor, I'm going to be really mad.
I will mop it up if that
Technically-
happens.
If it breaks, I'm going to be
Technically-
really mad.
Technically, if you think about death and life, we are
No,
all
junk, no.
less than 1 year old right now.
What?
Well, because we've died and been reborn,
That's not how
said with
resurrection
heavy air
works.
quotes.
That is not
That's
how
not how this
resurrection works
works.
at all.
It is
That's not how this works at all.
perspective.
Yeah.
Was there anything we were going to say important here, or I'm going to kick you guys out?
I'm sure there was.
I said my piece. I want to make our priority untangling this mess, if for no other reason, so that if we die again, we don't have to go through all this again.
Completely fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I've already
all,
written out-
all of
We don't
this
forget
is
this.
only going to hinder any attempt to conquer the Undermountain.
Yeah. Well, I don't recall it, but I did. It's in my handwriting. Those notes about the Stone of Galore. So apparently, we can figure things out that way, and now we have documented details on how to use it.
Yeah, but
So that
we
should
still-
help if we
still
get
have
here
to
again.
risk curses and whatnot and memory alterations and ugh.
Yeah, I don't trust that rock.
You probably should.
What rock?
I don't know. It's I wrote these notes on it. Don't remember it though.
The Stone of
Cool, can I
Galore,
see it?
which was You're eager all of a sudden, but okay. We're trying
You
to
want to
trust
see the
each
notes
other
or see
here.
the rock? So you saw the rock already.
On this
did.
life, we're choosing to trust each other. Okay.
Yeah, I'll trust you. No
Mhm.
problem. I want to trust the rock.
But yeah, the Stone of Galore is not to be trusted.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
What if we got the stone drunk?
No,
Can
No.
stones
doesn't
get
have a
drunk?
mouth.
What you
Or,
are
you know.
describing is the opposite of drawing blood from a stone.
Yeah. It's got no faculties with which to get drunk.
But now this is science. We have to figure this out. This is very important now.
No, it
Oh,
is not.
boy.
I'm going to put the bottle I took from Jhank back on the rack.
Sounds good.
But we can get the stone drunk on that.
Do you even know how being drunk works?
He might
Probably
not.
not.
I do. It's fine.
Victor, do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to start taking notes on everything I've learned today. Skipping over the parts where the people I'm working with are questionable of intelligence level. So that I can keep
Okay.
track of everything going on in case we do bite it again. We'll have some easy instructions to catch us up.
Okay. Sounds good. You
Are we all
can-
just going to like diddle around in my room then? Is that what's going on?
I'm gonna usher everybody out once everyone's got a cup of something.
Wait, but we haven't searched your room yet.
Doing it in the
Why
dining
are we
room.
searching my room?
Because we're searching everyone's rooms
They did just
for secrets.
Yuliy, just keep.
Bad stuff.
I haven't left. She hasn't left the bed. She's just holding this goblet and the bottle.
We can trust Yuliy to search her own room. Come on.
Can we?
Yes,
We
we're
should.
choosing to trust each other on this run.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop you, but if you're just gonna stand here staring,
Bam, investigation.
Jhank is also
Wow,
going
how did you
to
investigate the entire room so fast without me stopping you?
the moment that she said, I'm not going to stop you.
Yep.
Jhank, I think you might be a little impaired. Lander, I'm just gonna say, between the general chaos, this is something you honestly, anybody paying attention to Usk's mage hand would probably have seen it. I just don't know that Jhank would have processed it. Right above Yuliy's bed is a picture of the goblet she's holding, and it says "Drink from me."
Huh. Have you taken a drink from that goblet yet? Did
Yeah,
What did it do?
How I
anything
know that-
happen?
that's how I know that I made a deal with Xanathar.
Ah,
Wait, what?
that's probably an important detail that you should have told us about.
Is that a magical goblet?
I just told you.
You didn't. I don't remember being told about the goblet itself.
No, I just told you that I made a deal with Xanathar like 5 minutes
You
ago.
did tell us you made a deal with Xanathar.
Yeah,
You
we
didn't
know
tell us
about that
how you
part.
found that out.
Yeah, we didn't.
Via this goblet that you have in your hand.
Gandalf.
Could we maybe get an identify on that goblet?
I mean,
If you don't
do
want to
have-
spend a spell slot, I can ritual it. If you'll let me, Yuliy.
I've got one.
Sure.
I've got one first level spell slot left today.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it'll just
I'm-
take him 11 minutes. I'll
I
identify it.
Real fast, I apologize. This will change things slightly. You might not have been able to read the drink because it was carved in infernal.
Do you still have Eyes of the Runekeeper?
No.
Then you would have just seen Infernal on the ceiling with the picture of the goblet.
I mean, it's still suspicious enough because it's clearly the goblet she's holding.
Well, honestly, if he asked, what does it say? She would have just said, drink from me.
Yeah. So that probably played out that way then.
Yeah.
Just a little extra step in there.
So does that
Yep.
mean we are all drinking from cup?
I don't think it's going to work like that.
It
But-
seems like it's probably attuned to Yuliy.
I
Doesn't want to
just know I just picked up this bottle and I drank from it from the cup, and then I had a memory of me making the deal with Xanathar being really rude to you, Lander, but also just that.
Would you allow one of us to...
Bitch.
Would you... Sorry,
Worth
what was it?
noting, I think Yuliy said I was a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Worth noting,
I think we all were.
the bottle of wine she's holding is labeled Eye of the Beholder.
Ah, well.
Would you allow one of us to try that?
Yeah, let me just hold that for 11 minutes.
Is Yuliy going to allow that? Okay.
Be careful, it's 17-year vintage.
I mean, I don't need anything in it, I don't think.
No, but I need this exact one in order to remember what I saw in that.
Well,
Okay.
Listen,
so
Avis has information and Yuliy doesn't fully understand what the hell just happened.
yeah.
I'm trying.
To be fair, I don't exactly need to hold it, I just need to touch it.
All right. So let's process this in order. You are going to use identify on the goblet, correct?
Yes, and since it's a ritual, it will take 11 minutes instead of 1.
Right. And are you going to... Excuse me. Are you going to be putting anything in it?
I assume she still has things in it since she was worried about things spilling.
No, she was holding a bottle of wine.
Right.
The goblet itself is empty.
Okay.
Put the...
So,
put,
for
put
now,
some of,
no.
Put, okay, no, okay, sure.
I can use this as many times as I want. It'll just take a while.
Okay. You can tell. Here's what happens as you finish identifying it. Let me just pull up the specifics of this spell just to make sure that I'm not about to say something really stupid. Let's see. Okay,
Well-
yeah, cool. Okay, this should be fine. You go through the ritual of casting identify. And as the spell commences, you feel your book beginning to get really, really hot. And you are given a just brief flash of information before a voice echoes in your skull. And it is a voice most familiar to you because it is your patron. And your patron's voice says, do not use your magic on my gifts.
Very well then. I will stop.
And yeah, you don't quite get what you want out of identify, but you do know this. That is from your patron.
And your patron
So
is
yeah,
again...
you got a gift from a patron.
Who is your patron again?
The
An
Archfey.
The Archfey?
Mhm.
Arch.
So
Archfey?
you two were definitely working together closely.
At least one life.
I mean, all of my memories that I've gotten back have always had the two of us at the bare minimum together.
Yeah, not
Literally
so much...
all three of them.
Not so much any of
I'm
mine.
a very, very important figure.
I haven't gotten a whole lot of memories back.
As a side note, while this has been going on, Jhank has been looking very intently at the other alcohol on the wall.
I've been keeping my eye on you.
So yeah, that's a
this
gift from my
from your
patron.
patron.
So
Take good care of it.
I mean, it's letting me remember shit. Why wouldn't?
I'm
And it
going
also
to...
helps me drink.
I'm going to assume it's not going to work for anyone other than the two of you then.
Well, I don't know if it would even work for me. I assume it was a gift to Yuliy.
Probably.
Which adds more questions, because why am I associated with the fake?
I mean, you had the pendant with the symbol on it, right? Something like that.
Yuliy's holy symbol for Paladin stuff is what I called the mask of the Archfey.
Yeah. So
Another part of the list I'm getting down to.
If I may float a crazy idea, each time we come back, we don't come back quite right.
I mean, I feel like that's probably a fair assumption.
That's not a crazy idea, honestly. I mean, just on how we've acted up to this point, we're completely different from who we were. And that would just might be a product of like reconstructing our personalities in that cave. That's not a crazy suggestion at all.
Well, okay then.
I like how you responded as though like, you agree with me? Wild. All right. So,
it all revolves around the dragon heist and what we did to who we promised the gold to, what we did with the gold after we took our shares or didn't. All the backstabs, all the alliances forged, it all comes down to all that money. Root of all evil and all that.
Based on the notes, it sounds like we each took our share and then spent to get tools or equipment or something to take everyone else's shares.
So
I don't know. It sounded like I was totally prepared to give Xanathar all of the entire hoard, and he would just give me stuff as long
You
as
may
I
be
did
an
that.
exception.
I mean, you were
Seems
there
like you
when
really,
I made the deal.
Seems like you really didn't like Usk.
He backstabbed me.
How did I backstab you again?
I don't know. I didn't get that information, just that you did, and I'm very cross.
Have you tried drinking other things from the goblet?
I just got off the hangover from the first one. It was a really bad one. I know I drink, but I have to pace this a little bit.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't become a professional drinker by overindulging.
So probably like a once a day thing.
Yeah, it's a fair assumption.
Okay.
Victor calls out from the other room. Hey, Legion of Doom, don't forget to wash your damn hands.
Don't you tell me what to do.
You're part of this Legion of Doom. Stop being antisocial.
I just shakes his head.
Yeah, you'd really think a merchant would be more personable.
Everyone has their limits.
Yeah.
Why do you think my entire room has a rack of alcohol?
For fun.
Oh, sweet innocent spring baby.
I mean, that's certainly how you acted when you first found it.
The problem about hunting down a hoard of 500,000 dragon coins is that you can't just ask around for that on the street. And anyone we rope into this is going to be tempted for a piece of it. And several people, including, a cult and a dragon, are expecting it from us.
Past us.
Well, one of those is present us.
Oh yeah, we sort of made that deal, huh?
Yeah, not really understanding how tangled it all got, but I'll choose to believe that we can at least talk that out.
I just know that if we start asking questions with certain groups that we past us might have been associated with, certain people probably shouldn't be in those conversations. I'm just saying that me especially, maybe Lander, should probably not be in the room if you talk to any members of Xanathar Guild. Especially if you end up in front of him.
I mean, I think we already did, and that's how some of us died this last time.
Yeah,
Maybe all of us.
that would make a lot of sense with that one. Yeah.
Well, on this run at least, I've had 2 fairly positive encounters with members of the guild. 1 enforcer and 1 leader.
Yeah, mine weren't. Imagine if I was kind of there.
I mean, I think I was there for at least one of them.
Well, most of us were there for
right.
the whole.
It was in fact everyone but Yuliy.
The whole get out of town thing. Yeah.
It seemed more that I made that deal, so I think that's why I think you would probably be more okay with it. I should not be there. I would probably mess it up.
And I've got a whole murder to solve, but I've already solved it, and maybe I pin it on the Xanathar Guild, but maybe they were involved in the first place, and maybe that whole hit was to get back at me. I don't know.
So in that vision you had of making the deal, you said I was there?
Yep.
Was I just standing there? Or was I doing something?
I mean, I was mostly talking and making a deal. You mentioned something. Like, maybe twice. It was mostly a me thing.
Hey, we're kind of along for the ride there.
I mean, you said you wanted the money, and then I told you to shut up. And then you wanted access to several of his minions, especially the ones who could use magic for experimentations. And that, I think, was all you said in the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Based on that, it sounds like whenever we were doing things together, you were the one who took a more active lead.
Yeah, this kind of confirms it. I thought it was otherwise, but no, I pretty lead it.
If I was a target behind the scenes, I need to use the Stone of Galore, don't I?
Can I use it? If you're all learning something from this stone?
But it'll have to wait until tomorrow, apparently.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all the charges have been used for today.
In the meantime, we can get it drunk.
You're already drunk.
No, we get the stone drunk.
Jhank.
That's tomorrow.
You're doing
You're
this
already
on purpose, aren't you?
I did say you were lucky that he got it out of your hands because you otherwise would have been on your ass. You're just tipsy right now, buddy. So yeah, got a different place you can try to go. Things you can check out. What would you
like?
We should rest.
We should do that. But what time is it?
Should rest.
Given that if I'm remembering my sessions properly, like basically the whole going up to Waterdeep and whatnot happened today.
It did,
and that was
that took like 2 hours.
Yeah,
and I think it was still daytime when we got back.
Yeah, it was. I think it's probably getting close to evening or night.
It's like maybe 5 or 7.
I would say probably closer to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Time for dinner and bed. Probably.
I suppose, yeah, a certain lizard man might need to sleep off a hangover. Or at least a bit of a hangover. There's still also, you could potentially check out other rooms or talk with Felirax or something else in Skullport.
You mentioned a shop that does in the river.
Yeah, the Sargoth's Bounty.
Did Jhank not mention that it was closed?
He did. I thought I had mentioned it, but it's been like a month since we had that last game, so
Yeah, it was like
understandable.
Jhank went to closed pawn shop.
Yep. So, unfortunately, nothing. You won't, since it's the same day. You probably won't get anything from the Sargoth's Bounty. But
well, you know what? I want to talk to that dragon friend we met when we got here.
Felirax?
No, the
Dragonborn or the dragon?
The dragon.
Bronwyn.
Bronwyn, yeah.
Yes. All right. So yeah, that's on the lower area of Skullport. So, who all wants to go with us?
Just a quick casual chat. I don't know if anyone wants to come along, but it's not really necessary.
Yeah, I'll probably stay and investigate the room some more.
I could go because I got a.
Jhank is going to see about getting, because I believe you'd mentioned something about being able to get like a journal or something from the guy who runs the house.
Yeah, Felirax will have some paper and stuff that you can use to make a journal.
I also have paper.
Do that and start putting what he knows to note, so he has that as a physical reference.
Seems like a good idea.
If it looks like we're all going to team break from Yuliy's room, she is going to take a small piece of paper, write a small little note, take the Eye of the Beholder drink, put it in the chalice, and down it. Because we're remembering this entire conversation. Hello.
Okay.
Well.
Yep. Yuliy, as I told you when you got this ability, you are immediately drunk.
It's a good thing I'm on the bed.
Everything seems the same memories are playing back in your head that you had during your first vision, as well as the last several minutes sort of playing in your head concurrently. And after several minutes, the visions fade. You sort of wake up back in your room, still very much absolutely plastered. And the bottle you have been drinking from has refilled and resealed.
Gonna carefully place it on top of the note and then just flop onto bed.
Sounds reasonable.
I've had this planned for a month, man.
I am sure you have. Okay.
So, Din, should I plan to write down and send you the stuff that Jhank actually writes down, or should that be unnecessary?
Just what I would recommend is just go ahead and in notes, if you want it public, then write it down in you can just press that little minus button, and then that'll open up a plus to add item.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able to just make a note of what Jhank knows.
And there'll be a little section or a little thing called public, and next to it will have a dot, and you can click that to make it public or private.
Here, how about I'll just write it down myself, and if it ever does become relevant, then I can hand it off to Din, and he can decide whatever to do with it.
Okay, sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can see it regardless of whether you make it public.
Well, no, it's more just the fact that this isn't something that he's writing for the sake of everyone. He's writing it for personal reference.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move Usk and Victor down to Bronwyn's house.
Yeah, would I be able to take a passive 20 on investigation to search the room?
To search, which room? Your room?
Mostly my room, but then also the others' rooms if there's still time in the day.
Yeah, okay. We will say passive 20 on that, and I will come back to you.
All right.
Okay, so yes, the two of you, Victor, Usk, you find yourself traveling down to Bronwyn's little cursed hut. With relatively little trouble, aside from general sort of crowdedness of Skullport. So yeah, you knock on the door and the door opens for you. Bronwyn, you can hear her humming something from her kitchen. You would guess, kind of hard to say, because this place is again a horde. It is difficult to move through.
Today on Hoarders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doubly so difficult to move, knowing that one wrong touch could spell catastrophic consequences for you.
All right, well, carefully make our way through.
Yeah.
I'd say good evening.
Bronwyn nods. She appears to be cooking something in a pan. You cannot identify the meat.
Not really my concern.
Yep.
That
Although
smells delicious.
Though definitely imagine my own meat there, but
Mm-hmm. What can I help you gentlemen with?
First,
sorry, what you cut out the early part of that?
you want to go first?
I don't really have an icebreaker, but about the whole dragon heist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're still retracing our steps, and it turns out those steps kind of cross over each other and into each other's backs.
Won't lie, that's not terribly surprising.
No, in retrospect, not really. But since you were aware of it, I'm wondering if you knew anything else about what we did, how we handled it, where we might have stashed it, if we said anything prior.
Unfortunately, no, y'all did not speak to me on any of this matter. You did provide me with some lovely items to add to my hoard during the course of your earlier travels, but by the time you were going after the dragons, you had decided to cease contact with me.
Well, that's about it then. To be honest,
I could be more helpful.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't have a whole lot of leads right now. And even then, it could be in 5 different places. It could have been spent or promised to someone else. Whole lot of... We were not responsible with that bounty.
Seems to me if you want a lead for your particular situation, Ask, my recommendation would be to examine why you in particular would need 500,000 and not 100,000 given your living situation.
Oh no. Wait, no, but then that means that would have had to happen before.
Gears turning.
No, but we just had that conversation when I was up there in Waterdeep. What do you mean by that, exactly, Bronwyn?
I just mean that for someone as wealthy as you, at least as wealthy as you and your particular family are, it's odd that you would need that much more money. 100,000 is certainly quite a lot of dragons on its own, but the desire to get that much more strikes me as odd, personally.
Be something else then, something I don't know about my relationship with the Castellanters. And there's still the whole mess with House Rosnar. Oh, there's too many questions. Sorry, I'm rambling. Victor, you can go ahead and ask what you wanted.
Okay. My question is kind of more about someone that apparently I associated with before. I'm just kind of wondering when the last you have seen Hollyhock. Did she sound familiar?
You see Bronwyn's face sort of stretch into a sharp-toothed grin, and she chuckles. And she goes, "Well, of course I know Hollyhock. She was an absolute delight. Came over for tea every now and again. That lot more than I could say about the rest of you, but
Yes.
she was delightful."
Have you seen
Well,
her recently?
Yeah.
The last time I saw her was about a month ago, if I do remember properly.
Hmm.
She seemed quite upset with a lot of you.
Oh, I'm sure she was.
Something about leaving her in the middle of the Undermount without even the chest to get out.
Yep.
She had to
Oh,
drag her way back through the previous floors.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
At least
Either we were really afraid of her or we were dicks, or both.
Yeah. Probably both.
to be fair, I'd be afraid of someone who could single-handedly crawl back up through 10 floors of the Undermountain.
Yeah.
Or at least reasonably concerned.
Yeah, and the Undermountain's not kind enough to just leave things be once you've gone through it once.
Right?
No, I'm certain that anything you've killed at this point has been replaced by the owner, who is not too fond of adventurers destroying his toys.
All right. Yeah. Because we're kind of looking for her again, and
Concerned.
really haven't-
Reasonably concerned.
yeah, she might know something that might put a few more puzzle pieces into our collection here.
Well, I can say this.
She also might hate us and attack us on sight, but that's neither here nor there.
It's a chance I'm going to have to take.
I can tell you this much. She had gone through this particular situation before, so she cannot leave Waterdeep or the Undermount. She is around here somewhere if you can find her.
Aha.
But that could also be somewhere in one of the dungeon floors if she's strong enough to hold her own.
True.
And if she hasn't died as recently as we, she might know a whole lot more. That might be our strongest lead with the most reward, potentially.
Let me double check something in one of my books real fast.
Sure thing.
You could give me just
Sure thing, Grandma.
Whoops, that's the wrong book.
Checking the physical book behind the scenes.
Yes. I'm just
Let me
double
curse-
checking. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just picturing Bronwyn just going through just, random piles of stuff, pulling out books at random. We're going through. Nope, not that one. Another one. Nope, this one's cursed. Oh, wait, they're all cursed.
Books that open up and try to bite.
Yeah.
Or she smacks them and they whimper.
Yay, 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 yay.
If
Let's see. I'm
Yeah.
just double checking because I had a level in mind that she might be on. I'm just double checking the particular name.
Okay. But yeah, it's possible that tracking down Hollyhock might be the closest, might be the clearest way to getting some kind of answers. Good or bad.
The answers are answers.
And
We already know that we've done pretty bad things before.
yeah, but none of these bad things have been resolved. They're basically still ongoing. And as long as that heist treasure is still out there and unaccounted for.
If
Well-
I had to take a guess as to what, assuming that she is deciding to hide in the Undermountain itself rather than somewhere in the city, my guess is that she would be on the 5th level. That one seems most like home to someone like her.
The 5th level.
5th level, huh?
What's on the 5th level?
The Willowwood is known as the name of the 5th level.
Willow.
It is certainly something to be aware of. Some powerful druids live in that area, and they have made allies of some particularly nasty beasts.
Somehow I doubt we're entirely strong enough to get down there.
Don't know until we try.
Bronwyn looks you over and goes, I can tell you right now, you wouldn't make it past this floor.
All right, then. Well, do you know if there were places she liked to really talk to one of the contacts? Places she liked to frequent, like to get supplies or anything like that while she was here in Waterdeep? Or not Waterdeep, Skullport?
She like drinking.
She was not particularly fond of drinking. Just not something she was terribly interested in. Said it made her dull.
Mm.
She did enjoy a good fight or two at the Bat's Roost, and of course she enjoyed the services of the Sargoth's Bounty. Found a lot of neat trinkets and toys there that she wanted to try out from various adventurers who had fallen. But aside from that, I do not know.
All right, well, you've been quite helpful, thank you.
Very.
No worries. Would you boys like to stay for dinner?
I'm having a hard time saying no.
I'm also having a hard time saying no.
Yes, we would be delighted.
All right. She lays out a place for you in the again crowded kitchen and serves up a nice little meal for you. Victor, roll Constitution.
Yay!
Hey, I have great news.
I didn't die.
You have no problems eating human meat.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
The last time you saw her, she was going down to her basement where you heard a dude screaming.
You cannibal.
I am
Wait,
afraid
in
this. I'm just thinking. Uska's thinking like, I wonder if this is my first time. Probably not.
Well, it's not cannibalism for you.
Not technically.
Not technically.
Still something about like eating a sapient
Yeah,
humanoid.
eating a sapient being is a whole other thing.
I didn't say it was still bad.
Yeah.
I've been many animals that probably eat people too. Maybe it's not that.
I love this.
Yeah, and this one's cooked.
Mm-hmm.
It's at least that.
Yeah. There were vegetables too. If you feel disgusted after the realization, you could definitely for, regular food.
Kinds of friends you make in Skullport.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for minor what it's worth, I don't know that it actually justifies anything. I don't feel comfortable saying it would justify anything. But you did recognize it as the voice of the guy who popped up in the chest and seemed really spooked by seeing you all. So, probably not a good thing.
No.
Oh well. A little too late for anything else, huh?
Yeah. that story has ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of lost your opportunity to do anything about it when you just left. Anyways,
dragon.
Yeah, no,
Powerful dragon
perfectly.
who has the confidence to hoard cursed items.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Perfectly fair.
What are we going to do? Say no, don't murder that man.
Perfectly fair. She's not a bad dragon, but that doesn't make her good.
But you could have let her do it, and then you could have taken the chair back.
Yes.
Okay, let's count
What
too
is
many.
this fixation on the
Let's
chair?
count who cares about the chair. 1, 2. I think that's it.
Yeah. Pass the fava beans, please.
40% of the party.
Not a majority.
So Lander, is there anything else you wanted to do while Braun went home?
Mostly just check the rooms.
Okay.
And-
Sorry, it was real fast. I said Lander, but what I meant was like Usk and Victor. Is there anything else you wanted to do real fast? And then we'd move on to you. Sorry, I said that very poorly.
Got
You
it.
getting tripped up too while you do that to me.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I have a reason for it.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
One last thing. This is just completely non sequitur to anything else, but like, what does Felrax do for fun? Does he like anything? Because I've never seen him doing anything other than just like cleaning, cooking, and just kind of being.
I bet he knits.
He's a bit of a boring old sud, if I'm being perfectly honest. But once in a blue moon, he does like to show up at the Bat's Roost and destroy any competition.
Oh, okay.
Mostly literally.
Okay. He's just been such a good host to us. Kind of like, I don't know why. I just, if there's something nice to do for him once in a while to let him know he's appreciated.
Jhank mentioned
just telling him that.
Jhank mentioned the Bat's Roost, right?
Yeah.
Did he mentioned that several of us owe a debt there? Did he mention who?
He mentioned several people and gave descriptions of them.
3 humans.
No way of knowing if they're us.
3 humans, a wood elf, and a tiefling. What was the description?
Yeah.
Don't know who those people could be.
So I could go there too and investigate independently.
You sure could.
I could go, but
you might be one of the humans.
I might be one of the humans.
I
Unless I'm not
really
human.
wasn't involved in any of this.
And if Yuliy was the tiefling, chances are I was probably one of the other humans.
Not in
Despite
that particular
not being
thing,
a
no, Usk. Not in that particular misadventure, you were not involved.
Yeah, but
most of the memories are me and Yuliy, and sometimes Victor.
I mean, I can go in wolf or something. And might be able to
Well,
get away
no,
with
that one I said with Victor with your voice.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm teasing Din about mixing your names up.
Yeah.
So perhaps sometimes I possessed Victor's body, which sounds weird.
And how did you do that?
I don't know. I've forgotten.
Could be part of the whole came back wrong when you regenerate thing.
I don't think it was, just based on the description of that scene.
Or our past selves had more capabilities than our current selves.
Yeah.
But we're not actually talking about this right now.
Yep.
All right, well, another thing to check later, I guess, that I can do.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't do it alone.
I guess
So-
Jhank, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Jhank was the one who found out about the Bat's Roost and the debt thing.
Oh, right,
so-
yeah, no.
And it's because he lost a fight.
Mhm. I guess real fast, let's go back. If do you want to check out the Bat's Roost tonight, Usk?
Briefly.
Okay. Did you want to go with Victor?
If I
Based
go,
on-
I probably Go ahead.
Based on what Jhank said, probably not, unless you were in disguise.
Yeah, that's my thing. Because I'd hate for you to go alone. I mean, I could try the disguise, and hopefully, no one recalls that one of the humans can shapeshift things like animals.
Well, if they do, then that's another piece of data.
I mean, humans are super populous.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that you weren't there. It's also possible you were. It's kind of difficult to know from the description Jhank gave you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we could make a quick stop there.
Yeah, so wolf disguise for now, just to play it
Okay.
safe.
But-
Crazy idea. But what if one of the humans was us wearing the circlet?
I don't think so.
The circlet
Considering
that
we
I
just got it.
from Yek the Tall.
Yeah. Maybe you gave it to Yek the Tall as a gift. Or as a joke.
Those are astronomically long odds.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible, but it sounds highly unlikely.
Hence why it was
Anyway,
prefaced with crazy idea.
Yeah.
It's definitely among other things, Skullport is on a lower level of the Undermountain, so that'd be kind of difficult. So, because that would involve going down to Skullport and then going back up to the beginning of the second floor
Mhm.
for that series of events. But I don't know, not impossible.
Yeah,
Anyways,
go ahead and cut to someone else, and then cut back to us.
Yeah.
yeah, that was the idea. Lander with a sort of passive 20 on searching your room. The big thing about it for you, obviously, is that writing covers everything in your room, and it makes it difficult to find anything that's like hidden, because most every single surface in there is scrawled with detailed sort of descriptions of magical rituals and like the properties of energy, and basically the thematic equivalent of mathematic equations.
Any actual rituals that I could copy into my book?
No, it's when I say the rituals,
Mostly just theoreticals.
it's theoreticals. It's like what makes it so that certain spells can be ritually performed versus not. Like, here are the similar components of ritual spells. What could be done to make a spell a ritual instead of just the random determination thereof. It's a whole bunch of stuff like that on one side of the room. And you can, with that nat 20 and your understanding, you can see that like the room has been divided in a certain sense. Like there's obviously the area with all the shrines talks about like here's like demonstrations on warlock capabilities and the various kinds of patrons that can be summoned, and the subcategories of skills and abilities you can learn from said patrons. The various like pact of the chain, pact of the tome, stuff like that. One of the walls covers sorcerers and the various kinds of bloodlines that could result in them. There you can see there's a few sections that question like, can a sorcerer be made later in life? Can you like basically surgically turn someone into a sorcerer? There's the biggest section is obviously wizards and the various schools of magic thereof. Each getting their own sort of subdivided section on the wall, and you can see bleeding into the floor. And the ceiling is scrawled with the sort of combined paladin cleric gifts of power and like how they function to the best of your knowledge. And the sections where they bleed into each other, where the cleric and paladin mixes with the warlock and the warlock mixes with the wizards. You've got points that you have question marks of like, how do these connect? And it looks like you've had some ideas, but no major breakthroughs yet. The biggest thing you've noticed is that you had those 3 sort of major shrines that I mentioned. You had the one that was clearly belonged to a demon
Mm-hmm.
at one point that was sort of like scorched and no longer functioning. You've got the one that clearly belongs to your patron, the Archfey. Sorry, I keep saying Arch because archangels.
Yeah.
And then there was the one that was the writing around it sort of degraded even further, and the items looked strange. Like,
Which is probably the great old one.
probably, if you had to take a wild guess. You do, however, find sort of smaller trinkets hidden, not hidden, but like placed nearby, beyond that particular shrine leading up to the wall. And they appear to cover other smaller potential pact choices. There's a lot of sort of red X's, like you purposely went out, got something red to mark with, and said, basically put it down as like not viable for one reason or another. And those would be all of the various unearthed arcana warlock pacts.
Yep. Hexblade, probably because I am very weak. Would not be able to hold it very well.
Yes, there's definitely several of those that just would not have functioned for you in particular. That said, the one thing you do begin to piece out amongst all of your notes is that there are focal points to them, as in there are people you watched and wrote down notes on, and it's fairly clear that obviously the warlock section probably referred to you and your various tests, but the paladin one mentions a significant amount about what you recognize as Yuliy's particular magic style. And there's one that references, there's a section of the wall that sort of begins to talk about druids, and you recognize that's probably referring to, Victor's magic stylings. And there's a small subsection of the wizard wall that covers both Jhank's and Usk's magic stylings. And there are like, it's not dated, but you can tell there is an order to everything. And these might be, you might be able to find some sort of records based on that if you took the time to sort of analyze those notes. Aside from that, your room is pretty bare. It seems that a lot of what went on for you was in your head or with your patrons.
Yep. But honestly, a lot of the stuff writing on my wall, I probably could have written anything in there, probably like some really important stuff, and I doubt anyone would have actually read it.
Almost definitely.
Like, I could have just blatantly written out the instructions to where the dragons are, and it probably would have been better kept secret than any of the others.
Probably.
Hey, now, are you insulting my double cipher?
No, I'm just saying that no one has the will to read everything on my walls and ceiling.
Well, not as long as you're still alive.
Will to drink this entire wine rack? I do.
We each have our strong suits.
It is almost as if each of you has a way to secretly take notes against the others. Almost. Yeah, you get the feeling that if there were any sort of hidden instructions in in your walls, you don't think that's impossible, you do think you'd need more time and like a
Yeah.
clearer idea of what it is you're looking for. But there's no other physical evidence in your room of secrets kept or hidden passages or secreted items or anything along those lines.
Yeah. So out of character, that's probably going to be something to do when I'm not able to make a session.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's basically I'll send you something after this, which is basically the we'll call it a feat / ability, which is translating your previous writings. Similar to Usk's, but it's going to be the information you learn is probably going to be focused through a magical perspective.
Yeah.
So everybody gets information, but there's like rules about how they get it.
Yuliy has to get drunk.
And it's the what I mean is like the particular information you get is going to be biased in certain ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll send you a full ability thing at the end of the session.
All right.
All right. Did you
So
want to
who's
do any
next? I think that's it for now, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Jhank, Yuliy, did you want to do anything? I know Yuliy's mostly passed out, but
Yuliy is completely passed out.
I mean, I don't think there's really anything for Jhank to do right at the moment.
okay. Then Usk, Victor, y'all head over to the Bat's Roost, which is, let me get the map open again. Get the proper map open. It is on the, there it is, second floor. So it'd be heading back to you'd be heading back to your area anyway, the hideout anyway. Let me get a pointer on here. Oh yeah, they did a massive update here. All of the like stuff is different.
Ah, yeah.
That explains why it took so long. So there's like a 15-foot cube. That's where the Bat's Roost is on the Skullport middle layer players.
Got it.
So yeah, inside, it is. You can see there's actually a crowd starting to form. In it, on the second floor, you can see this is sort of the patrons area. We'll say, it's where everyone goes to get drunk, place bets, and watch the fights that happen on the first floor. There's obviously some stairways down to like get closer seats, better views where you can throw shit into the fight. But from the second floor area is where the main entrance is. And when you enter, you smell obviously alcohol. It smells terrible. It smells mostly like the swill that was offered earlier when you went to that particular bar whose name I cannot remember right now. Judd's Distillery. It smells like worm whiz in here, basically.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's dusty, it's dank, it's not the best kept establishment. And you can see there is a Dwergar behind the bar, presumably on some sort of like crate, shouting orders in Undercommon at the bugbears that are actually helping him run this establishment. And he does not seem to react to the two of you entering.
A Dwergar?
Yes, they are the they are the dwarves of the not the Undermountain, but the dwarves of the. Oh no, I can't think of the name now. The same area.
Drow version of a dwarf.
Yeah, they are the drow version of a dwarf. Thank you.
Huh.
The Underdark. That's the word.
Okay, then.
You cannot understand what he's saying, but he sounds very angry.
Oh, dear.
You get the distinct feeling that's sort of his natural state of being, though.
Yes, is
Because
resting.
the bugbears don't look particularly pleased to be working there, but they also don't appear to be giving too much of a crap about what their boss is yelling.
Fair enough.
So what would you like to do?
Well, since he seems to be in charge, is there like a counter in front of him, or just he's
standing. He's standing behind the bar on a crate, so he can actually look over it. And he's just yelling at various people.
Is there space at the counter to sit?
Yeah, there's a bit of a place at the bar.
All right, I'll just go up there and take a seat.
I will, in wolf form, sit by his side and kind of just watch like his sentry dog.
Hey! That thing have fleas!
I assure you he's fine.
I do not like pets.
That's fair.
More like pests. What do you want? You cannot sit here unless you buy something.
Oh, fair enough. What do you got?
We have wormways and fighting.
Oh boy. Who's up next for the fight?
Some Goliath trying to prove he's better than this Astamar who come down here every now and again.
These fights, non-lethal, right? Or do they get lethal sometimes?
I do not step in. If
Fair
they
enough.
kill each other, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, down here. Alright, Goliath have any associations, like Xanathar or anything like that?
No.
Different Goliath? Okay.
Yes, different Goliath.
Okay.
We pay money to Xanathar, of course, for protection, but...
They don't come down here and fight themselves.
No, why would they need to? They can kill anyone they want in the streets.
Pretty much. What's a minimum bet for putting down money on someone?
Minimum bet, 25 gold.
5 gold. I'll put 25 on the Asmar.
Good. And he just swipes the money from you.
Yes. All right then.
And you hear him shouting in Undercommon at a bugbear who is writing numbers on a board. It appears that you do not get a ticket or anything. This particular Dwergar just memorizes the faces of whoever pays.
Fair enough.
So he goes back to shouting. He doesn't seem to be, now that you've paid for something, he doesn't seem to care that you're sitting there. So
That's better.
Just gonna let him do his thing for a little while, kind of watch things. Just keep an eye for anything that stands out.
Okay. You see this establishment is, it's full of a lot of not people you recognize, but a look you recognize, and it's the sort of confused anger of the people who are down here without memory and just looking for something to sort of vent that frustration.
With Bloodsport, yay!
With Bloodsport. Well,
Yeah.
It's that or drinking. There's not a hell of a lot to do in Skullport.
Very, very sad.
It's not like there's a public library down here. Pretty sure Xanathar has all the books. Does he read them? Debatable. Anyways, there's a lot of that you can see. There's a lot of people attempting to get drunk on the just absolute crap alcohol they have. You can hear the sound of animals being like animals in cages down on the first floor. It sounds like potentially some beasts have been dragged in for extra entertainment should a fight be boring.
Oh boy.
And you can hear the general sort of smack talk of various people thinking that their bet is a surefire win, or that they could totally take on X person. And
I'm
several
sure they're
people,
promoters, yeah.
yeah, and you can definitely hear a bunch of schmucks saying that getting into arguments with people and saying let's take it down to the ring before being bounced by some bugbears.
No, this is for professional use only.
Yep.
Probably not. It seems like there's definitely ways for people to just sort of enter, but not just like jump down there and start a brawl.
Fair enough.
And I think after you sort of watch the crowd, you can see that there is it's a terrible drawing. It definitely looks it's not fantastic, but it is a drawing under a placard that says current champion. And you can see it is just the worst drawing you have ever seen of a tiefling. And you can see underneath that portrait is what looks like consecutive wins. Might be what the sign says. It looks close enough to that, though consecutive is definitely misspelled.
Phonetically.
Is this Yuliy?
It's not Yuliy. It looks like a male tiefling.
Ah!
So close.
But it can't be consecutive wins if you haven't been there in a among other things.
Listen.
And it's as far as the win-loss record, it looks like they have a something like a 25-6 win-loss record.
Huh. All right. So once I can like force word in edgewise to the Dwergar, I ask, so do you take gold only or do you take credit?
He sort of scowls at you when you say that and says, "Gold only. Credit stopped being a thing a while back."
I take it too many people were in debt and not paying up.
Exactly.
And then forgetting all about it.
Oh no, they not forget. I make sure of that.
Ho.
Gotcha, because you remember any face that comes in here and pays, I take it.
He nods. He taps his head and says, photographic, well, I can't say that actually now, can I? Photographs aren't a thing here. He says,
memory like a steel trap.
Yeah, that would probably be a better one. Yeah, it says, memory like steel trap. Remember all who pay and all who refuse to pay.
I see. Question, have I been in here before? Since you know,
No.
Well, that makes sense. All right.
He sort of gestures to all of you and says, "You're too fancy for here."
Not wrong.
I laugh at that because he's not wrong.
Yep.
So, very well. I say if say you needed someone to maybe go out and find past creditors, would that be work that would be considered available?
He sort of points to the various bugbears in the area and says, "Job's already full.
Fair
City
enough.
too crowded. No work."
That's fair.
He definitely looks like for as harsh and as simple as he's being, he definitely looks like he's actually getting really upset at how big the city, like how many people are filling in the city. Seems like he's used to a much smaller group of people.
Yeah, that
And-
curse isn't messing around.
Yeah. Skullport's not supposed to be this populated. So,
Well, Well, can I ask? I'm looking for a few people. Can I ask if you've seen them?
Possibly. Give me descriptions and possibly coin. I will let you know.
All right. Let's see.
Okay.
Lizard-born ranger type.
He nods. It seems like he's scowling pretty damn hard at that.
Does he owe you something?
He and his friends owe me something. He paid his small share, but he still owes 500 gold from friends who drag him out before bet can be paid.
Let's see. A half-elf dressed for the arcane?
No.
Okay. A female tiefling in heavy armaments.
That was one of friends that take out Lizard Man.
Ah. All right.
Are you familiar with this group?
I might be on their trail.
They owe you money too, huh?
Oh, you have no idea.
I
Only
freaking
reason
swear. Freaking swear.
He again gestures to you and says, "Makes sense. Only reason someone like you would come to this shit."
Whoa. I like this guy.
Who are these other friends? Could you describe them in some detail?
Yeah. Wood elf about as tall as you when standing up, not when sitting.
A wood elf. Okay, yes. Female wood elf?
Yes.
Okay.
Looked like she would be a good fighter, but for whatever reason said no. Threw Lizard Man in the ring. Blech. 3 humans. Humans, strange. They all talk funny.
They all talk funny.
He nods.
Like weird accents?
Yes. Strange even for humans.
3 humans that had very odd accents. Any distinguishing physical features?
He actually looks kind of frustrated by that statement and says, no. Every time I think I have image in head, it change.
Uh-oh. Do you think it's possible they might have had glamours on?
Possibly.
Do you think it's possible they might not have even been human?
Would be guess.
Huh. But their voices stood out to you. Do you think you could do like an impression of one of their accents?
Yeah.
I know that. If you think,
Common, not my native tongue. It is difficult enough to say as this.
Silly question. No worries. Just trying to get what information I can. I thank you for everything so far.
He nods and goes back to yelling at various patrons and the staff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Jhank was thrown in the ring. Credit was bet on him to the tune of 500 gold, and
600, but Jhank paid his share.
Oh.
Or wait.
Yeah, it was 600, and that he had said Jhank, the lizard man, paid his share, but he still 100 gold.
Okay.
So.
Well, I guess I'll stick around a bit longer and then watch the fight I bet on.
Okay.
So that does... Okay, so if glamour might have been involved, that means it realistically could have been this party, but half of them were in disguise.
But why would they be is the question.
Because they
Yeah.
knew about his memory and wanted to make absolutely certain that he didn't remember them.
And then why did 3 members not wear disguises?
That is very true.
It's the half and half element is throwing it off.
That is very
Yeah.
true. But they were all in the same
Regardless-
group.
Yeah.
Regardless, we can now all but confirm that Yuliy and Hollyhock were 2 of the people involved.
Almost definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them some assumptions.
And whatever the
that would assume that I owe money, which I don't.
Not that you know.
That reminds me that Jhank, I don't think, has actually talked to Yuliy yet about the possibility she owes money.
You can certainly try.
Okay.
I rolled for this fight. It was extremely terrible. Like, it was just a bad fight. These are 2 complete amateurs. There is a reason that this bartender looked extremely disappointed and sort of dismissive of the fight. The Aasimar does win.
All right.
You come out with 75 gold.
3-1, not bad.
So, yep.
Hmm.
All right. Does anyone want to do anything else? Or
Yeah, this is probably as much as we're getting. And if they had weird accents, it's possible the glamours also just disguise their voices too. Or because like very odd, implaceable accent sounds like something that a glamour would do if you're trying to disguise face and voice. Or they were genuinely odd accents, but I don't think we've met anyone or heard of anyone with that kind of accent.
I mean, he didn't give you an accent to work with, but yeah.
Yeah.
But the 3 humans did have like very unusual for humans accents.
Yeah.
That is something worth noting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if it's just means that that's what the disguise did. If it was a glamour disguise. The other pet theory I have is like some kind of modified memory thing.
Also possible. Magic makes things weird. Okay, so yeah, everyone's doing a long rest then?
Yep.
Yep.
I guess so.
Then let me go in. Oops. I always hit the wrong button. I always hit beginning combat when I mean to hit the button.
Right. And I'll probably at some point contact you for details about going into the talking with the patron during the long rest at some point in the next couple of weeks.
Definitely.
Some of us in real life, sleeping is a combat.
Icon. There it is.
Let me first off, let me move Usk and Victor back to. Well, please let me pick up these peoples.
No.
Let me move Usk and Victor back to the base. And
Whee!
Jhank just left.
no,
I left where?
you come back here.
You just your icon went out of the building.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
And there it goes again. I feel like someone's playing tricks.
It's fine. You all sleep, and this is probably the first sort of long rest you've had that wasn't interrupted by something.
Very true.
So you all do manage to have a nice long rest, and I keep forgetting to move the calendar ahead, so you should be
TikTok.
I'm noticing that there is no dog in the room.
Where did what? I don't know where dog went. I did not see anything happening to dog. So give me a moment. I know I can change the date. Please let me change the date. Oh. Anyway, it's supposed to be the 6th day of third Alturiak, which is just after midwinter. So yes, it is that day. You wake up. It smells like breakfast is being cooked by Felrax.
Yep.
So yeah, you are all freely available to partake in breakfast and decide how you are going to proceed from here.
Breakfast.
So the annoying thing I've discovered from my investigations last night is that we kind of covered our tracks too well.
Yeah, we're really good.
We
What
like-
was your
We were good at being bad.
What was your investigation yesterday?
went to Bronwyn and then I dropped by that fight club place.
Yeah, we learned not to bet on you.
I think we already knew that.
Yuliy, it is possible that you owe money.
Impossible.
The
What?
Impossible.
well, not saying that you owe money, but the person running that club does recognize your face and description. So maybe
So you're
steer
not
clear.
saying she
Never
owes
been there,
money,
so
you're
it
just
doesn't
heavily
matter.
implying it.
Someone with a description very similar to her, if not her.
Just
owes money.
giving fair warning that it might not be a good idea to be around that part of the city for,
Yes.
And why
foreseeable
would I
future.
go over that part of the city?
Or perhaps
I don't know.
we could
Throw junk in the ring again?
Yeah,
Or if
apparently,
you want to be
Nah.
apparently you, Hollyhock, and 3 humans who might have been glamoured up humanoids of any other type. But strangely, you and Hollyhock were not.
So Hayhak was involved?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
someone was glamoured as me, and it really wasn't me, because why would I bet on junk?
Well, if Hayhak was involved, that is another reason to find him. In the meantime, Yuliy, the simplest way to handle this is if you were to give me 100 gold so that I can take it and pay off the bet.
Jhank, you already ask about money. Why do you think I'm going to let you harass me too?
You know what'd be kind of funny about all this? If Yuliy tried to throw junk in the ring for the purpose of getting junk killed.
But they bet on him and lost and owe credit.
Yeah.
That
maybe
I
that was-
will claim to pay off.
Could have just been he didn't die.
Yeah, they're not always lethal fights.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get rid of someone.
I should have asked more about that night, maybe, about, like, how Jhank got volunteered for this and who we fought.
I'm not paying for something I know nothing about.
We didn't say you had to.
No, I'm not. I'm
I know.
honestly not gonna. I don't care.
Mhm.
He's
Well, we
honestly too busy and depressed to care. He's not taking
Well-
credit anymore, so that's kind of that.
Yeah.
How about this, Yuliy? You come with me to that place and then he will tell you about it.
No.
Do not think I am going to drop this.
The other thing is that
Go for it.
we have a clue as to where Hollyhock might be,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is the fifth level. The what was it? The what wood?
The Willowwood.
The Willowwood.
Which sounds familiar to me, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through my book, see if I've got something written on that.
Okay. Also, worth noting, long rest means it's a new day. The Stone of Galore does have its charges back.
Oh joy.
So,
Cursed Rock of Fun.
Oh. Also, that means I can use my seeing thing again.
you sure can. Everyone's once a day thing has reactivated.
Oh, yeah. Jhank hallucinates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Let me double check yours real fast. So Victor, are you asking a question of your deity, or are you just searching through the book?
I'm just searching through the book for right now, see if I have an entry on the 5th floor.
Okay. Would you do me a favor and roll a D
what?
Roll a D what?
a D20?
Just a D20?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to determine the sort of like how important / what you find.
Yeah.
Solid
Very average.
middle.
Yeah.
Solid middle. Okay. Let's see. All right, let me give me a moment to type something into as a whisper.
Ooh.
So,
Hey, Victor, have you ever asked your book or checked your book about the days you first met each of us?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. What is the first entry in your book?
That'd be
Not even just the first entry, just the first time you met any of us, because I feel like that would be down.
well. The problem is that like the book is so hard to check.
Yeah, I apparently my train of thought kind of meanders a bit in this book, back and forth, different levels, different situations.
I mean, if
It's
anything,
not it's not a bad idea. It's just going to take
And
me
we
and
also
some time
got
to
like
go through it.
steadily less sane the further down we got.
That's true too.
I mean, if anything, it allows us to find out who met who first when we all interacted with each other.
I don't know if
That's
like
mostly all I want to know.
I mean, that's a timeline isn't a bad idea, but I don't think it's the most important thing, the most helpful thing. Because once we know like who met who in what order, then what? We still know that we were all in contact with each other at some point, and we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know when and how things went bad, and we don't know
It might help a little bit.
what we did with each other's spoils.
Baby
Because
steps. Ask baby steps.
I'm
We
just saying.
definitely
I'm
need
just saying.
to-
Like, there's probably a more direct way or direct route to the information we need.
Yeah.
I think with the spider web as thick as and tangled as this, it really doesn't matter if it's direct as cutting it straight in half or if just picking at some of the strands. Just as long as you get something, it might help a lot more than you think it will.
Yeah, but we don't
I'm
know how
mostly
much.
just curious.
We don't know how much time we'll have to untangle this web before we die and lose all our progress. So I want to get through as much of it as possible.
Well, I'm
I
definitely
know all I have to do is
taking
drink, and
notes.
if I see that note I put down, I'll remember and have more incentive to drink.
Who knows if we'll even be the same people in the next run.
So, Din, question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the sight beyond sight, it says, I mean, in addition to seeing, person's future in relation to your own, it also says certain items or people may trigger a psychic echo of your past self will grant. Does that mean that it's possible? I mean, does that confirm that it's possible to obtain past information as well?
Yes. That's why you got some past information from your previous vision.
Now, is this something I'd need to, learn, or can you tell me that I'm, able to, try and focus to go one direction or the other?
Sorry, one moment. My phone has an alarm set for 7 p.m. on it.
Oh dear.
It was a weird thing that just happened. What was I going to say? It's pretty clear from that vision you had that the when I say the echoes of your past self, it is literally you self, and it clearly
you kind of glitched there.
Sorry. Just based on that last vision that the vision that you had, when I say the echoes of your past self, it is literally you talking to yourself, and it stands out distinctly from everything else that's happening in the vision. So
Okay.
it's fairly clear to you when it's like past information versus potentially future information. If that makes
Okay.
sense. I phrase things weirdly, so I understand the confusion.
So it's just like
It does.
him relaying messages to himself across time?
Exactly.
Huh.
When you're
That's weird.
psychic, you do weird stuff.
So Jhank is unmoored from time. Good to know.
Woohoo!
That or, adverse effect of his particular prey. One of the two.
I mean, yeah, dealing with the ability.
So, like, is it a two-way thing, or is it like a pre-recorded message?
It's sort of a pre-recorded message.
that
Okay.
you can, that you
Not
can send
that you would know.
that you can send
Yeah.
up and down the stream of time? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jhank. You know what to do. Beep.
This is Jhank. I do not know what to do.
Whatever you do, Jhank, do not beep. Gonna start a whole freak out about next Tuesday morning.
Hmm.
Like in a pinch, we know where I think Hollyhock holds a lot more answers because we're not certain that she's died as recently as we have. I mean, it seems like she fought through like 10 floors all the way back up to Skullport after we left her behind.
Definitely someone we side.
So probably still hasn't died, but also probably will try to hurt us on sight.
Maybe.
Yep, absolutely. And understandably.
So I feel like she holds a lot of answers, but at the same time, she's not going to give us a lot of answers.
See.
Probably with the sword to the gut.
Yeah, and that sword is also very concerning.
It only sucks out your soul if it kills you.
Oh, that's good to know.
That sounds like a bad time.
When have you known getting your soul sucked out a good time?
I don't.
Well, I'm sure there are some people who have had some experiences.
I don't even know how to follow that up.
Right.
So have we decided that our next goal is to reach the 5th floor?
I don't think so yet, because we're not... it was very heavily implied that we're not strong enough to get there yet.
Bronwyn, yeah.
Well, you know how we get stronger to do that?
Go
Going
through the
back in the
dungeon.
dungeon.
I think,
Yeah.
honestly, our next dungeon task is probably to get the chest. And get the
Which chest?
Get
Chestnut.
Chestnut to Skullport.
We
May I ask
have-
why?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like getting Chestnut to Skullport is kind of counterproductive.
So that if we go deeper, we can still make our way back to Skullport.
You've already
But-
got the chest here that does that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that chest goes to Chestnut.
yeah, we need
Right.
Chestnut to go deeper into the dungeon with us, not to come to Skullport.
Well, that's what I mean. If we plan to go
It's-
deeper,
It's a two-way path. You can go through that chest to get back to Chestnut on floor 2, and you can go through Chestnut to get to Chester in Skullport.
Yeah, but they want to do it like if we went to floor 4 with Chestnut, we could go back to Chester in Skullport. But right now, Chestnut's on floor 2.
Yeah, so you will need to basically, there's no point in taking Chestnut to Skullport, but getting Chestnut further into the dungeon is important.
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
need to go get it.
Okay, sorry, I was just a little confused by all that.
Yep.
Anyways,
I
Victor,
forget
you got-
that Skullport's like off to the side, but
Yeah, Skullport is technically on the 3rd floor of the Undermountain.
It is dungeon adjacent.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Well,
It has been a while, Meek. In fact, I think it's been 10 sessions.
what can we say? We're a bunch of city folk.
Or, sorry. It has
No.
been 6 sessions because
It
I
has been
remember
far too long since we've killed anything.
Well, we've been finding out that we're a bunch of bastards. That's taken up a lot of our time. Sneaky bastards
Poor
at that.
bastards in a bit.
Still trying to figure out. I did.
Unsurprisingly, secrets are complicated
Right?
and take time to work out.
Especially when you don't have a
You-
whole
What
lot
a
of leads.
tangled what a tangled web we've weaved.
Yes, you've weaved it.
Yep.
So I take it
We're
on this
taking
entry.
we're absolutely taking ownership of this.
I know. I'm just teasing.
The first paragraph is my writing, and the second is response.
Yes.
Okay.
That I can't like do spaces to make it more.
Oh, that's fine.
distinct.
I just want to make sure I read it right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I found an entry on the Willowwood. It doesn't look like it's going to be very fun. So, let's see. Here I wrote, "The dragon does not know who he is. He strikes at us, blinded by his confusion. We were told that the archdruid protects this beast, but what sort of protector leaves a sword lodged in its skull?"
Oh
And
dear.
my goddess replied, "The Willowwood and its protector hold many secrets, Victor. Take care you do not lose yourself in its depths."
So there's an archdruid, a dragon with a skull in its a sword in its skull. That
Yeah, and I
doesn't-
guess whoever pulls out the sword becomes king of the level.
I mean, if you
I
can
feel
manage
like that, was
that, you
something
might as
you
well
made
be.
up just now.
Oh boy. And this is the level Holly is possibly hiding out at.
Yeah, if she's
Yeah, I can kind of see.
if
I can see it.
if she's got an in with the druids who run it, then yeah, that'd be simple enough.
Or
I
if
have
she's
a
just
in.
fighting it out for fun.
True too. Wonder if I have an in with those druids. Maybe it's more of an out. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Every floor we pass through, we must have met some of these people.
Probably.
And who knows what we told them.
Well, we definitely met that wizard on the second floor.
Mm.
They hired us to kill some people.
Did we succeed? I don't
know. There were a couple of people from the Xanathar's guild. I think a couple of
Yeah.
captains.
It's not important.
Did we just literally pick up every quest marker on the way down without even like bothering to even think about doing all of them, or what?
Probably.
We were classical
not be
murder
surprised.
hobos.
What a bunch of... I couldn't-
Welcome to your life.
Wow, it sucks.
It does.
Oh, you know what? The Willowwoods is probably like a forest of some sort. It's probably woods, and Hollyhock is a wood elf. So there's no
Yeah.
connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
seems
just pick
safe
up a quest
bet.
marker to go and assassinate 2 members of the Xanathar Guild. Yeah, we'll promise to do that and maybe do it, maybe not. Ugh.
Just pick up every single quest marker. It's like an MMO.
Just every single question mark or exclamation point hovering over somebody's head or a door.
If it's a question marker on the map, I must remove it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. No wonder we promised so many things to so many people, and then we started being jerks about it. But okay, what I'm starting to get really confused about is I'm pretty sure we died last down on like what was it, level 14?
It was either 13 or 14, I think.
And that was that. And that was after we did the dragon heist and all this backstabbing stuff? Or was
I mean,
I
we
not?
have definitely died since then.
And someone's cut off my hand at some point
Sorry about that.
with the sword, with the stone of galore in it.
And we died to Xanathar at least once.
Mm-hmm.
And people owe money.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Honestly, so low on our list of priorities right now.
Right.
So very, very low.
Maybe on your list of priorities.
Moving on.
Bronwyn did say that we would have trouble even getting out of this level down to the next one.
Well, that sounds like a challenge.
And I wanted to so say challenge accepted, but I really don't want to.
Aw, come
In-
on.
Not with a dragon. Okay.
It has been far too long since we have killed anything.
I mean, hey, worst thing that happens is we die.
I think I need to interface with the Stone of Galore today. I think I need to know if and where I stashed the dragons from the heist. I think that's the best. I think that's the best way to get a lead.
You don't want to try to decipher it from your book?
I've been working on it. Not a whole lot of progress.
If you're going to use the curse rock, at least let's do what Lander did. And let's have paper and pen ready. Try to take down as many notes as you can before you forget everything.
Yeah, obviously.
Because that seems to be a side effect.
Yeah, and I'll be on standby to dispel the attunement.
Yeah.
Or at least try to.
Mhm.
It's worked so far, but you never know.
Yeah, let's hope this doesn't, really start taking...
Well, hopefully I should only have to do it once. But I needed to think about my questions here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, can I at least finish this cup of coffee first before we go do something crazy?
Yeah, I'm not doing this off by myself, no.
Obviously, no, but I'm just saying.
Well, according to the thing, it doesn't matter whether you use it once or thrice. It's just when you attune to it, it does the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question. If you asked it, would it know exactly what you did that made me hate you so much?
That might be worthwhile to ask, honestly. Might give us a pretty
Because
good clue.
I don't even know if it. I don't know how the stone works. I don't know what you guys are talking about when you're talking about this stone.
I've got these notes written down here. You can take a look at them.
The Stone of Galore absorbs the knowledge of people who attune with it. So everything we knew in the past.
She doesn't remember touching it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Have her read the notes.
Oh gosh, I just thought of something hilarious.
Stone of Galore usage.
No, I know. But she
I know. I know you know.
I know a lot. Anyway.
Yuliy must not like to read. Which would make sense as to why she had Lander with.
Okay. But the question is, I don't even know is if us ask that question, if he would know, or if Yuliy would have to be holding it and ask that question for it to know.
Well, if past Yuliy knew and held the stone, then the stone probably knows.
So the stone's like
the stone is also sapient, y'all. It can make logical guesses.
Yeah,
and
that too.
I don't know. I don't fully know how this stone works. I'm just like, wording is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And if it involved me, then I might know. Or I might have known. And it could deduce from me.
Yeah.
Though if it's a repository, it knows that everybody that's ever touched it.
Yeah, I think me as a character, my big question is if it's a general knowledge or if the specific person who knew the information has to be holding it in order to get the information.
I think it just stores all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I managed to get info on Hollyhock.
I mean, past you could have known that, but...
Well, considering that it was...
The thing is, it gets new information by...
She harbored some positively dark thoughts for someone so cheerful. She refused her portion of the dragons. She was merely in it for the slaughter.
Right.
Might be something a little too intimate.
Yeah.
Okay,
also, the insistent that they never touch until she believed herself alone.
That's the one I think is the key of, like, as far as, like, information you would have known otherwise, like wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's one question. What did Usk do that made Yuliy hate him so much?
Okay, that's one.
Where did we hide our shares of the dragon heist is the other one, especially me.
I think there was also something about the more detailed the question, the more detailed the response.
Yeah, the more information you give about the particular thing that you're asking, the more information you'll get back. So the more specific the question, the more specific the answer.
I can definitely add detail to these questions.
I mean, the question I'm asking, I could make super detailed as to what did Usk do that caused Yuliy to go straight to Xanathar, the Beholder, to make a deal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Super. I could go like make this a paragraph long question, but
yeah. Would I have gotten anything from looking through my cipher books last night?
Yeah, you would have gotten something. Give me a I'm not gonna make you do a D20 roll here, but tell me what you like when/what you might have been looking for.
I'd have been looking for one thing, and that's any indication of what I might have done with my share of the dragon heist.
Okay. I can do that for you.
I mean, the only questions that I can think of to fill that third slot are more stuff that I want to know, like why Yuliy and Lander were always together.
That might not be a bad question.
Yeah. It's possible we knew each other.
Trying not to make all the questions me-centric. I might as well hold it myself. Sir.
Hey,
Maybe
so
no, hold on. If I can use my third question for something selfish.
Okay.
Sorry, Jawa, you were going to say something?
Yeah, for sight beyond sight, does that require touch or just examination?
Just examination. You don't have to physically. You didn't touch anything at the. So it's just.
Well, he was touching the docks.
Yes, you were standing on the docks. That's
not the same thing.
Yeah, not the same thing. You can. It's literally just a matter of focusing.
I might know about nature of my deal with the head of House Castellanter. Teared the scales, set the beast to rest, 4/5 of the bargain remains?
Say that again?
Pragmatic writing.
Say that again.
Teared, T-A-R-E-D, the scales, set the beast to rest, 4/5 of the bargain remains.
Bargain's a very specific word.
Tear the scales, set the beast to rest, 4/5 of the bargain remains.
Yeah, that was in my notes.
Worth noting, because you do date all of these. I forgot to put a date on here when I typed it out, but the date for this is 1 month ago.
Would that have been after Yuliy and crew killed the first heir of the Castellanters?
When what had been discussed with Sola was that the plan started a month ago and it kicked off 2 weeks ago.
So that post was before.
So this might have something as to why we did the assassination.
4/5 of the bargain.
So you probably promised the entirety of the thing to something that you referred to as a beast, and gave your share to it, and then we're going to get the rest of the shares for it too.
It's the entire party
I'm
of
gonna
Warlock.
let me
Beast to
do
rest?
let me do something real fast.
Yeah,
Um,
if we're getting off track here.
I'm gonna send you another whisper.
Okay, sure thing.
Um,
An entire party of warlocks. Listen, the word bargain is like a trigger.
I have not, I've actually considered the possibility that each of our characters was a warlock in at least one previous incarnation.
Well, that's assuming that we change professions. Back. I'm not sure that's.
I mean, I've definitely been a warlock for a while.
Warlock Paladin is actually a pretty good synergy, to be 100%
I haven't
honest.
actually seen the word teared much.
Well, it's to take a piece out of the gross.
no, yeah, tearing the scale, TARE, is resetting the scale to 0.
Oh,
Yeah.
the scale.
Mhm.
It's like the tear weight of something is what you subtract from it to make it equal 0 when you set that on the scale.
Yeah, I see. Different than what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This absolutely has to do with whatever deal the Castellanters made with the devil.
You made a deal with the devil.
Not me.
We don't know
Maybe
that.
you.
We don't know that. Listen, I've got several theories going on in my head.
Yeah,
going
maybe
on?
you had a counter offer. Instead of taking the lives of these
Oh,
people,
okay,
instead
no,
have
no,
this
no, no, no,
500,000
okay,
dragons.
no. Beast refers to dragons, the coinage. I set the beast to rest. I hid it somewhere.
Hit them. Yeah.
Scales refers to finishing a mission and receiving payment. So teared the scales, I wrapped up the mission and got paid. I set the beast, the dragons, to rest. 4/5 of the bargain remains, which means I was trying to get.
You were after the rest of the money,
I was after the rest of the money.
as were all of us.
For the bargain. Rest could refer to where you specifically hit it. To set the coins to rest.
So you hid them under your bed? Or you put them in a graveyard?
It still just means just hit it.
Do the Castellanters have a specific graveyard on their property?
I don't know. Who would like to roll?
Yay!
I
You
was
don't have to roll.
I was there recently.
You don't have to roll. Because I will tell you regardless. But anyone else who wants to roll, this will be high, but I guess roll history.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'm good at history.
Sure, why
Roll some
not?
dice for fun.
Not a good roll.
Roll it, dice for fun! Woo!
Oh, wow. I've
Fun
been getting
stuff.
poor rolls recently.
Yeah.
No, none of you know jack crap about the Castellanters.
Yeah.
Wait,
They had a son. We killed him.
I
Yeah.
got
They have like a family crypt, don't they?
I was there.
Yeah, you're always there.
Except for the fight ring. I wasn't there for some reason.
Right, they have a mausoleum underneath the manor.
Oh.
So that's probably where your share is.
I feel like putting it near them would have been a poor decision, especially if you were using it for something specific. I feel like if we figure out specifically what each of us wanted with the full board, and there's probably a way to word that in order to get that whole answer from the stone, you can really figure out exactly where someone might have hit their share.
Yeah, that might be actually the full question to ask the Stone of Galore is, what did we want to use the money for from the dragon heist?
I think to make it very, very specific, you'd list every single person, put
Yeah,
every single person's name. It's like, what did Usk, Yuliy, Victor, Lander, and Jhank want to do each of their shares of the Horde?
I probably wanted to fund research, which is why I was probably satisfied with just getting people to do experiments. When you went and gave promised everything to Xanathar.
Yeah, I feel like there's still an answer that
you didn't even
given.
want the full 500k.
I mean, he didn't say that. He said I'd still like the money, but
Yeah. I did say I would like the money, but then it seems I was satisfied with just receiving some men to run experiments.
I feel like just getting the answer to that question is pretty important and can be very telling for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty important question to ask.
I have a feeling that 500k is what it takes to save the twins.
Could be.
Stop making deals with devils, Usk.
I did not make the deal. This is my boss's problem, but I want to ask the Stone of Galore what the nature is of my relationship with. I need to look up the name of the patriarch.
Castellanters?
Yeah.
Victoro?
Yeah, Victoro and his wife.
I mean, my offer for the third question was mostly just a fill to get 3, but if you want, it's not like, oh, I demand that this is answered. No, it's not like the stone's going anywhere. So, and you're the one who's you want to be the one who's asking. So if you want to make it that one, go for it.
Yeah, that's
Victoro and Amalia.
Yeah, Victoro.
I just want my answer answered at some point because it's killing me every single time.
There's been a lot of talk, so I need questions like written down somewhere, please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll write it down once it comes time.
Okay. Jawa, it sounded like you wanted to try and invoke a vision on.
Yes.
What would you like? What would you like to invoke it on?
Yuliy.
Oh boy.
On Yuliy.
Excuse?
Okay. Give me a moment. I apologize. This is bad for This is bad for video/streaming, but the whispers kind of make it in this case.
Yeah, no, it's been fun for us playing. Sorry if it's not so fun for those listening, but that's kind of the nature of the beast.
What I would want all that money for? Business?
I'm just writing down questions in like
suggestions.
as specific and detailed as I possibly can think.
It's all good. Builds tension. Thank you, Swest. I would. Yeah. What did Usk, Yuliy, Victor, Lander, and Jhank desire if they were given the full horde? Desire with the full horde of dragons from the heist. To where did each of them hide their shares? What did they do with their shares?
I mean, if you want to add on to that statement, you can. I'm just writing down.
I don't know how much the Stone of Galore likes being asked 2 questions in one.
Yeah, I might get annoyed.
I mean, I feel like, again, if you get the information from this one question, it might be a good indicator of where possibly the shares might have been hidden. And if it's not, I always have the question I want to ask, and we can think of maybe 2 other questions the next time we use this round.
I think for the first question, what did we do with our shares, is more direct than asking what did we want to do with our shares.
Well,
at least for right now, and then 2 is what prompted Yuliy to take revenge upon Usk.
Yeah, I'm writing that question. But this one, the way I wrote that first one is what we wanted with the full horde. is not the fifths. Why did we each want all 500?
I kind of want to find the shares though. I want to have information, actionable information, to actually find the shares. I think we have a pretty good idea of where mine is.
Wait, one heck of a retrieval.
If it's still there, and probably wouldn't want to go into that place unarmed or alone. But bringing all y'all onto that property would be very risky, considering
I think I've made it clear that Yuliy probably shouldn't go to many places. I can't be brought anywhere.
Our murder hobo lives.
Yeah.
Not even murder hobo, just villain lives.
Kinda.
Like
at the very least, self-centered.
Oh, absolutely. Very neutral evil of us.
Kind of chaotic neutral.
I think it slides between the two.
Yeah.
We were the villain of someone else's campaign.
Because I always see
for us, it was
chaotic
Tuesday.
neutral as very whimsy. And I see chaotic neutral as very whimsy. Neutral evil is like pretty fucking evil. And the decision, such a decision like what Yuliy did, that's pretty evil aligned. That's not like that's not whimsical. That's a calculated decision.
Well, like,
but that's just my interpretation of alignment.
We're talking about you like slaying the devil possessed heir of House Castellanter, right?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more of like why the decision to go to someone who is clearly as evil as Xanathar because you did something that made me mad. It's like I could have just killed you. Let's be honest.
Anyway, we're still waiting on Jhank's vision, but
yeah, I'm writing this second question down in like two different.
Yeah, I think that is important to know because it was significant enough to throw a huge wrench in the works. What exactly prompted you to? What was your purpose and goal, and why were you so motivated to do so? Then third.
All right, I've sent a message.
All right, Jhank. Well,
Jhank?
It's a matter of if Jhank wants to share it, y'all.
Well, give me an opportunity to read it and make sense of it first.
It's a vision. It's not going to be clear. I'm just going to like it's not going to be exact.
I don't know.
Say that.
Oh wait, I pressed enter before I wanted to.
I will be right back. I promise. Just one moment.
That's fine. We're still like talking. We got plenty to talk about amongst ourselves. Let's be real. Vamp for time until the cows come home.
What would I want? 500,000 dragons.
Let alone 100,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to think.
Could use it to fund your business.
I guess. What was my business though?
I just really want to know what we all wanted the full hoard for ourselves. That's more important as to where I found it. I can find that out later.
I don't know if we all wanted the full horde though. I don't know if the backstabbing was universal.
At the very least, we know Hollyhock wasn't interested in it.
How about this then?
I definitely wanted the full horde.
Yeah.
I clearly I clearly promised the whole horde. 1 second. How about this? When you ask questions, you ask the one about what turned Yuliy against us first, and then that can change how the next question is asked.
Okay, so sharing this information, what's the best way to go about it? I mean, is it out of place to just read what
It's up to
I'm...
you.
It's up to you.
You can either like fully read it like line for line, or you can just like interpret it and have Jhank say what as he interprets it.
Okay, I'm just gonna read what I've got here. GM, you see the tiefling standing, staring at you from the shadow of a figure made of writhing tentacles. Her eyes glow a brilliant red, and she lowers her mask to cover her face, the antlers glowing a brilliant green. Peace could be an option, Jhank. You had the choice. And as she raises her greatsword, the vision fades, and you see yourself. He speaks in your tongue. They are all soft. When a limb becomes useless, it is better to cut it off than carry the dead weight.
So you're telling yourself to go solo.
That is an arguable interpretation.
Wow, I clearly didn't like any of you guys.
And Yuliy went full Cthulhu.
That's an interesting wording, to be 100% honest.
So was it green glowing eyes?
No, the horns, which I
The
assume are
horns were glowing
the
green.
mask. So
Or antlers.
Red glowing eyes and green glowing antlers.
I'm
So
putting
it's
that.
Christmas themed.
Christmas themed
You
paladin.
know what?
Yuliy the green horned reindeer.
I'm gonna cry.
I was
I
thinking
hear
more
you,
like
little.
Yuliy the red-eyed reindeer.
Listen, my next thing on the docket is figuring out this stupid mask and its importance. 'Cause everything I'm picking up has something.
Wow. You people are crazy.
Sir.
We went a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly didn't like any of y'all. I don't know why I liked Lander too. I want to know that. I'm moving that question up.
Probably has something to do with the Archfey.
Taking this stone myself and asking these questions. I'll fight you for it.
I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back.
I hate this.
I'm
boy.
sorry?
No, don't
No,
be.
I love this, but
Love, hate.
Uh,
I love and hate how confused I get.
I hope the confusion gets resolved because I makes sense to me, but I'm also had a lot. So
Well, it makes sense to you, but you wrote it.
exactly.
You know all the answers.
all right. Are we ready to
Anyway.
do our Stone of Galore session?
Should we
Let's get
do
this
that
over with.
next
Depends.
time?
Are you gonna fight me to hold it? Because I really want to ask that third question now.
Are we going to ask those questions now or save it for next time?
We might as well ask it now, so just to have it over and done with, so y'all can plan what to do as a result.
Yeah.
Look,
All right, fair enough.
need to get a lead on the other parts of the horde so we can start tracking them down and figuring out what to do with it so we can take it out of play so that it's not hanging over our heads every time we do this while we're stuck here in the Undermountain. All right?
I
Yeah.
have a sneaking
fair.
suspicion that it's gonna be difficult to take them out of play, and taking them out of play isn't really gonna.
Then that should
Much.
be our focus.
Mm.
They're difficult because they're so coveted and valuable that they're causing all these problems.
We
Yeah.
need like at least 1.5 million dragons to cover everything.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on taking the stone.
All right, Victor, you unlock the safe.
Yep.
Okay. There is the fragment of the sword, Usk's hand, and the Stone of Galore in there. Its three eyes are now open.
Okay, here's an idea. What if there was a way? What if we found a way to like Usk could hold his hand and then use the hand he's holding to hold the stone?
Well,
Then
then,
I
it wouldn't work.
Then I
'cause it
wouldn't attune with it.
Yeah.
Just. All right. Grab that stone and Ask it away.
All right, I'm gonna. Before I pick it up with my left hand, I say, "Let me know when it's done," because I'm not gonna remember, and make sure I've got paper and pen.
Yeah. Get this man some paper and pen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give
All
me
right.
a moment. I got.
Use my desk.
You good? You do this?
Yep,
Ready?
I do this.
Okay. Let me do this real fast.
What's he gonna get?
Let's roll on the table of silly things.
Table of wonder.
All right, let me just go into your character sheet real fast.
Oh,
boy.
Alrighty.
Dibs the
Wow.
next time.
So here's what everyone else notices immediately.
Hmm.
As soon as contact is made and the attunement finishes, Usk smells terrible.
All right. Who cut one?
You hear Felrax from downstairs saying, "What the hell is that?"
Don't worry about it.
Magic.
We're sorry.
Much apologies. We're doing some divination and this is a side effect.
You also feel, Usk, like you are suddenly much better with magic. You have proficiency in Arcana right now.
Oh.
I
Well, that's not going to last long.
That would be another thing for use. That would be a useless boon for me. Unless I get double proficiency.
It's the proficiency is not specifically Arcana. I'll say
Okay.
that.
So it's just you get a random proficiency.
Yeah, basically. Anyways, you are attuned. You kind of stink, but you feel like you know magic better.
Well, that's neat.
Yep. So, what would you like to ask?
All right.
Hey, what skill would I roll to try and figure out more specifically if he smells like anything?
Nature.
Nature.
It's
It's a very important question, man.
You recall the scent of a cow that has died recently.
this goes away once we dispel, right?
It should.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
All right. So, all right. Think about this very carefully. Don't distract me with stuff like that, Digo.
Sorry.
That was beautiful.
All right. Out of those of us who undertook the heist of the 500,000 dragons, what did we each do with our share, and what did we want with the full haul, the full horde? That is
Full magics. You feel magic welling up in you as the stone begins to answer your question. And now I have to go on mute for a minute.
All right.
Answer this in quiet.
All right. The whispering begins. Also,
It calls you goblin.
wait, you can see that?
Yes. I'm looking at the Twitch stream.
Oh, right. Yeah. You're peeking over my shoulder at my screen, right?
I'm looking at the chat because I'm friendly.
You can top out the chat.
I could.
It's not a huge deal.
But now this
I'm
is
not
funny.
planning on hiding anything anyway, so go ahead.
I just saw. I was barely looking at it, and then I just saw that, and I was like,
But yeah, honestly, I'm not far removed from a goblin, so
Oh, I know. It's just funny.
pretty sure like bugbears are like
They are.
basically advanced goblins.
Very.
Very, very
Like
advanced.
goblin, hobgoblin, bugbear. Like that's literally how it goes.
It's the third evolution of
Isn't
the Pokemon.
There you go.
You're Charizard of goblins.
I'm a Charizard of goblins. Hell yes.
Goblizard. Goblizard.
If you're
Now,
a Charizard,
that just sounds like a Power Ranger thing.
if you're a Charizard, where are your wings?
Thank you for pointing out the obvious. Pre-AP goblins. No, I don't have
Vina
Firebolt.
Bear? Vina Bear, Bug Toys, Bug Drill,
Are we just trying to fit
Bear
Bugbear?
Free,
Okay.
Butterbear.
Let's stick to the Charizard metaphor. That worked out better.
Yeah.
No. See, if I was holding it, we'd get that ability to cast Firebolt. I want that back.
Why?
Because Firebolt's an awesome spell, and I once crit on something that was like super weak to it, and it was kind of awesome.
It exploded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Only targets you would have in the room are us. So no.
Yeah.
But
But nothing.
what if I did it when you guys
No.
weren't in the room?
Don't make me turn this stone around and go home.
Don't burn the house down, please. It's the one we've got. And we're lucky
Is the
enough to
house
have
made
it.
of stone?
No, it's a lot of it's made out of rickety wood, like the rest of the city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky enough
If
to
we do
have
come across,
a private place in the Harper's second floor.
What if we went into a villain stronghold? I picked it up and I had Fireball.
You
Can I do
probably
it then?
have like less risky options.
yeah,
But
like
this
me
would be
using Fireball.
Fun.
You're probably not
And I
playing a
think-
character that's going to have a devastating crit.
Can Usk use Firebolt?
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't think I,
I
even
bet
have
Just
access.
me.
Differ with might crits. I feel like Arcane Trickster doesn't get many damaging cantrips.
I don't. I think I get the wizard spell list, but only like a couple of schools of it, which I think are enchantment and illusion.
Yes, Firebolt is evocation. But I feel like your specific, just Arcane Trickster, I don't think it's something that would even be considered in general, even as a cantrip.
No, let
I
me
think
go
you're
ahead
more
and-
specialized.
Hmm.
Let's find out, actually.
Choice from the wizard spell list. Spells. Oh, I know 3 first level spells of my choice, 2 of which I must choose from the enchantment and illusion spells on the wizard spell list. The spells I learn higher up, the spells I learned at 8th, 14th, and 20th can be any school of magic.
Mm.
But every other spell I learn has to come from enchantment or illusion. So I only get a few spells. I only get a few spells that are outside of that. So I could pick up Firebolt from the wizard spell list if I really thought that was going to help. But the fact is, I don't have a high int modifier.
So what you're saying is that you could become Goblizard.
Yes, but I'd be a really bad one with terrible stats.
It's fine though.
And if you're not like two-shotting everything, then what's the point of being Charizard?
To be Charizard.
Just
But that's
Charizard.
part of being That's part of having a Charizard in red blue. Is that your fire dragon who kills everything?
I think, to be honest, anything on this list, Toll the Dead probably. Oh no, Shape Water, most broken cantrip ever.
There is
What?
worth considering the trading
Shape
card game where
Water.
being a certain Charizard means you're like one of the most valuable cards in the game.
Message sent.
I write this down. Do we have a note where you wrote your stuff, Lander?
I kind of just separated it into different sections, but there is knowledge dragons,
Knowledge,
which is knowledge
dragon.
on the dragons, which is currently
Middle,
unlocked.
right, the
So you
middle
can
of your screen.
I can see it, but I can't write into it. So
no,
I can make it public. Just is it the?
it is
no.
public and it is unlocked.
well, there. I just ended up putting it in the chat.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Well, I'll just drag that over
I was
here
trying
then.
to click and drag it, but I ended up putting it back in there. Whoops.
It is in notes.
So yes, the Dragon Horde was a prize indeed for your lot. Each had desires most intriguing and locations dreadfully sentimental. A grave to save a life. That's probably mine. A ship to build a nation. A realm removed to learn from the death of a fake. A dream to protect the waking. And a church to revive a god. I think that one's Victor.
Yep, the ship is Jhank. The only question is whether the dream
Well, it says a ship
and
to build
the
a
fake.
ship
To build
I mean,
a
a ship
nation.
to that. I mean, it's potentially, but I wouldn't be 100% certain on that.
I mean, the only one with any connection to ships is Jhank.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these, as of right now, anything we're saying are just assumptions until they're
Yeah.
proven back.
Yeah.
And while 80% is not 100, it's still pretty high.
I mean, the
Yeah.
first and the last we can probably be pretty certain on. The other three are a little bit more interchange, potentially up for interpretation.
Like
The
the
death
realm
of a fake.
removed. Yeah, the death of the fake bit is throwing me off because the realm removed could be me keeping it where my patron is.
I mean, because I'm thinking it. I mean, John could just as easily be a dream to protect the waking. If we're talking about stopping the horde, I mean, stopping the invasion.
Beg to differ, because I saw that, and I put that at like 70%, possibly 75% me. To be
Yeah,
100%
because
honest.
Yuli's had a lot of dreams of visions.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's here. It's talking about like a dream.
I
dream,
even
like
didn't
like
even
a
like
vision or a dream to. You know,
Alright,
I have
well-
a dream.
Well,
Hey, the
I'm
fact that
done.
you're real fast, the fact that you're arguing about it, job done.
Yep.
I
All
hate
right.
that. Anyway,
Okay. Oh, grave to save a life. I was originally trying to save the heir in the first place.
Hmm.
Oh,
Because
God.
it was probably the life of the firstborn son,
Yep.
Yeah.
but someone else took that. So
Okay. Sorry, that
I
just
need
came
you
to
to
me.
ask that second question.
I
Second
feel inclined
question.
to point out.
I need you to ask that second question.
I feel inclined to point out that it is almost 8.
Yeah, no, we're gonna, as soon as we're done with the questions, we're gonna end.
Yeah. All right, so I say, what caused Yuliy to go into such a rage at myself that she went to Xanathar and promised the entire horde to them in exchange for help with her revenge? Okay, so getting back to our devilishly vague answers here. The grave to save, so it's I think that confirms the mausoleum. Laid the beast to rest. Or set the beast to rest.
Hmm.
So my share of the horde, if it's still there, is that's assuming that none of us found this out earlier and asked the Stone of Galore. Should be in the Castle Lantern Mausoleum somewhere.
I feel like we wouldn't have, considering the time that we have now, where we killed the firstborn at least 2 weeks ago, and our death occurred at some point between that. I don't think we would have had time to ask the stone where the others hid it, to be 100% honest.
Yeah. And
Like, it's
and
possible?
And even if they got this answer, probably not enough time to investigate it thoroughly, and certainly not
Yeah,
alone or as one or two.
Because it's here. It's here on the 3rd floor. We got down how far before we went back up?
Like 13
We
or
were
14.
far.
Yeah.
And it stayed here. So anyone had to pass time to actually get down there.
And
but
also, it was sealed by Victor's pendant, so he controlled who
Yep.
got to get into it unless they got to Victor first and knew about the lock.
So if anyone knows,
God, we're solving a murder mystery on top of a heist mystery. We're solving like a whole bunch of murder mysteries and heist mysteries at the same time, and they're all layered together with a whole bunch of interweaving, backstabbing.
welcome to the spider web.
We're solving
Yeah.
all the mysteries.
But yeah, if
Yep.
anyone knew all of it, most likely because it was locked by Victor's pendant, Victor might have known where all of them were. Otherwise, I don't think anyone else had enough time to find out.
Yeah, I'm willing to put faith in that the hoard was not entirely reclaimed, but I'm not 100% certain on that, depending on what people did with it. Because we didn't get that answer. No, actually, we kind of did. We put our prizes in sentimental locations
Makes sense.
to hide them from the others.
Yep.
Left one
Mystery
dragon
Theater is
in
brought
my-
to you tonight by Spudventures. Yes.
left one single dragon at the bottom of every single bottle in my wine rack.
Do you have 500,000 or 100,000 of them?
Oh, freaking no.
I mean, I'm sure if anyone could have found a way to fit that many bottles in a room, she would have.
It would be really
A
funny
realm
though.
removed to learn from the death of a fake and a dream to protect the waking, which implies to me that they're not. You've hidden them off this plane somehow.
Yep. Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
And since
I mean,
both
if
of you
anything-
have a connection to an archfey,
I mean, if anything, that first memory I got back does confirm that both me, Lander / Victor have been in the Feywild.
oh yeah,
So-
there's gods and eldritch beings involved in all this too. So which simplifies things.
So, well, the fact is that interplanar travel is not unheard of in that if we're following
Yeah, but
that line of
and
thinking.
we could probably only be outside for. Wait, hold on. How does that interact with the curse though? If we would like disintegrate on being outside of Waterdeep for too long.
Yeah.
Well, we also died. Or Lander Victor did. I don't know what happened at the end to me.
Mm.
Listen, it was my oath memory of my 3rd level oath ceremony. I ain't gonna question that shit.
Learn from the death.
Oh, that's an
Would the death of a fake be that imitation of a wizard?
imitation of a wizard?
I remember writing
Yeah.
down notes. Manchun. Apparently we slayed him for Felrax, and that's how we got on our side. And he was something of an imitation of a wizard.
A realm removed to learn from the death of a fake. Huh. Maybe.
Yeah, that one's probably going to be.
So I
Where
have
Lander's
I have
stuff
the
is.
answer to the second question. You're not gonna like it.
I probably not. I wasn't gonna like it anyway.
It's not terribly specific. Petty vengeance is understandable. You had an excellent understanding of the truly valuable items. You knew to look for me, and you know how to make a bargain.
So,
I think I might
have
have
bribed Victor.
I might have
What?
taken the Stone of Galore from you, or bargained with someone to take something valuable from you.
and then someone saw you using it and cut off your hand.
Yeah, but at that point we already had the dragon.
I don't think we were sharing the Stone of Galore like we were now.
No, I'm trying to think. It's like if we already had the dragons at that point, then why was the stone really important to me?
Well, no, it was important to Usk.
Yeah,
so that Usk could figure out where everyone else's dragons were, so he could take them. And then perhaps you saw him using that and cut off his hand to stop him from learning that stuff, and that's why he felt betrayed.
And then
but how would I
raided
know
the
that? 'Cause
Castlanters.
it's not like we're asking the question.
Maybe you were paranoid.
Okay. That might go some distance to explain it. Okay, so you had an excellent understanding of the truly valuable items, you knew to look for me, and you know how to make a bargain.
Would you be able to drop that into the chat again?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
All right, third question.
Ready when you are.
Yeah, but if that's petty, that was pretty far jump to go to Xanathar.
What discussion and what promise did I make to Victoro and Amalia Castellanter the night I broke into their home and they took me under their wing? Because that's Usk's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I have dibs on this stone tomorrow.
Yeah, you do. Because you seem to be at the center of a lot of this, but so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two seem to be hotspots here.
And Lander's just always off on the side.
I was definitely after the entire horde from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I went into the heist wanting the full bounty to help save the firstborn. And so
Yuliy figured that out.
I went looking specifically for the Stone of Galore because I knew it was incredibly valuable and valuable to my goals.
So I think I had a disconnect, and while I was trying to copy the notes from Jhank's vision, so I don't have access to that anymore, and it's not saved to either the version someone else created or the version that.
Oh, I made a Jhank vision version Yuliy in the notes.
Oh,
yeah, there's nothing in it.
Can I post it again?
No, there's Jhank visions which has nothing in it, and then right above that you have Jhank visions version Yuliy, which should have.
It doesn't have anything in it, but I just added it. It's fixed. Anyways, sorry.
It's still empty.
There's like 3 of them.
Keep posting it.
I guess for now I'm the only one that can see it.
Like I said, I just added it, so. Oh.
I mean, into the chat?
No, into the note. The note was empty.
Which note?
The Jhank vision version Yuliy. I didn't see it. Although I also can't see Jhank visions. That doesn't have anything in it except.
Yeah, Jhank vision just has a quotation mark.
Yeah.
That's fine. I have.
How about knowledge of dragons? Are the 2 extra paragraphs there?
Yes, Dragon Horde was a prize indeed, and petty vengeance is understandable.
That's what I did with the Jhank vision version Yuliy too.
Okay, try the one that just says Jhank visions now.
It's there.
I'm just staring at the word petty. Because, like...
Well,
maybe
for the Stone of Galore, that could very well be petty.
I'm just trying to think about it, and maybe it's just because I'm playing her so differently than how she apparently was, but just going so far as to going to someone like Xanathar and promising the entire treasure, which apparently I wanted for some reason, was apparently not petty to Yuliy.
But the stone thinks it's pretty petty.
Substantially angry to not kill Usk herself.
Well, you wanted to make him suffer.
Yeah. Kill.
You wanted to.
I mean,
You knew that if you killed him, he would just reset, which wouldn't be nearly enough punishment.
You must have found out or discovered something about the devil deal and the firstborn of the Castlanters, and wanted to use that knowledge to make me suffer because you knew that I was probably trying to do something about that, or just that I cared about him.
It might also be that she found out you were using the Stone of Galore to take the money, and she didn't like that, so chopped off your hand, killed your kind of brother, maybe.
Well,
if you were adopted as, I guess you weren't.
I wasn't really adopted into the family. I'm not really like.
Right.
I don't have the status of the actual heirs of the household. I'm kind of
You're still very well respected and
feared. Yeah.
Maybe like an adopted cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that. But that's the question I wanted to ask the stone while I had the chance.
And even if you don't want to make this public, it might be a good idea to make your own note and just keep it private.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't get lost in the chat.
Note sent.
Got it.
Worth noting, I can see even private notes.
Yep.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna
What do we get?
keep that there.
Making deals with devils.
I write down. Well, I mean, I'm writing it down, so. My first taste of your past. You stirred in me a hunger I had not felt in years. The night you met, you shared a common bond. Both were bound to princes of hell, but unlike you, they had not yet determined how to worm their way out.
What was the question?
The question was, what kind of discussion or deal did I make with Victoria and Amalia Castellanter the night we met? We had a long discussion.
You did make a deal.
You made a deal with the devil, but figured out a loophole.
Yeah.
They had not.
Wait a second.
But I had made a deal before I met them?
I have a huge theory.
What?
Drop it on us.
I feel like there's been body swapping going on, or at least some soul.
I mean, at least one instance.
Because when I think of someone who's wormed their way out of a deal with a devil, I look at Lander. I don't think of us. And then there was something from
been everyone at some point.
This would have been years and years and years before I met any of you. This was back when I was like a teen.
Yeah, but also remember.
Here's the question: Is the Stone of Galore? The Stone of Galore is reacting to the knowledge you have. How much of it is body, and how much of it is spirit?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, because I had from when I got a summary last time.
Anyways, that's our 3 questions, and it is 8:11, which is later than we usually go. I know we started later, but still.
Much later.
I think now is as good a time as any to call it a night.
Stuff to think about for a really long time. I need to just read these words again. the night you met, meaning me and the Castellanters, you shared a common bond. Both were bound to Princess of Hell? Both me and them, or both Victoria and Amalia?
Both you and them, because then it goes,
Yeah.
but unlike
unlike
you.
me, they had not yet determined how to worm their way out. What the hell did I do?
You made a deal with the freaking devil, man.
And got out?
Yeah.
Unless Yuliy's theory is correct, and it was Lander that made the deal, and he worked his way out by switching bodies out.
No, I
Lander,
went
time-traveling
to
body
House
swapper.
Castellanter. They know me, and
Well, yes, it was your body.
and
They know your
They told that
body.
story. The butler told me that of me breaking into their home and then having that discussion and then being basically adopted.
They know. I mean, they know
That was-
your body.
But then
There is a precedent for Lander
if we're
taking
talking,
other people's body.
If we're talking about body swapping, then that would have had to have happened before I'd met any of you, back when I was a kid.
If he's going to swap bodies, why would
Which
he
is-
swap bodies with people he knows?
Well, it's also a question as to how do I want to say this. I have the idea in my head. It's thinking how to word it is hard. Because like the you that started with the Castellanters might not have been the you that we know now. Like I think about it in the term. I'm saying this.
If we're gonna start
but
saying that, that could apply to any of us.
No, that's
Considering
why
how-
I'm bringing up my example, because I'm thinking it's like I had that first vision, and it was I heard Lander's voice coming out of Victor's body. So it could have been when I originally knew Victor, that was Lander, and then there was a swap that happened at some point, or it could have like been similar with you, and that you is different than you back then, and it's hard, and I'm making my brain hurt.
Clearly, there's a
Anton?
very simple answer to all of this.
Oh,
I
We're
am
all
a
crazy.
yes, and I am a time-traveling body
but-
swapper.
you are a Voldemort, and we are all your Horcruxes. Okay, and on that note,
And on that note,
And this.
thank you for listening to our Spudventures. If you like what you heard, you can find more on my YouTube, Newbiespud, or wherever you get your fine podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, spudventures.labsyn.com. That's the main feed. We aim to live stream these games on Sundays around 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time right now at twitch.tv/Newbiespud. If you want to keep up with this and other projects I'm doing, you can follow me at Twitter at Newbiespud. And if you want to support my ability to produce more content like this, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Newbiespud. See you next time, next week. Hopefully it'll be another session of Voyages of the Takeout, but I may be moving again this week, so we shall see. At any rate, have a good one.
Thanks for listening.
adios.
Yeah.